I'm Matt Hutchinson. Good afternoon. Any lingering hopes Jack Grealish had of making England's World Cup squad are surely over now. David Moyes says he'll probably need surgery on a foot fracture, which is likely to rule him out for the rest of the season.
Really disappointing for the player and for the club and for all of us here, because he's such an important part. He's a big character, big experience for us, and we'll miss him. He's done a lot of really good things for us.
Well, on the other side of Merseyside, Jeremy Frimpong will be out for a few weeks, but Curtis Jones and Konate are back. Liverpool-Newcastle is live on talkSPORT tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Fulham have completed the signing of Oscar Bobb from Man City. That's for £27 million. In the Champions League playoffs, Newcastle have drawn Qarabag, while Real Madrid will face Benfica again. In the Europa League, Forest have got Fenerbahce and Celtic will face Stuttgart for a place in the last 16. Max Downman will sign his first pro contract at Arsenal later this year when he turns 17. Former gunner Ray Parlour is a fan of the teenager.
He knocks people off the ball, he's strong, he can drop his shoulder, goes past people, he's got that turn of pace, and some of the goals he scored, he's been brilliant in the youth team area, and I'm sure he's going to have a big say in England going forward as well.
And Alexander Zverev is pretty cheesed off. Carlos Alcaraz took a medical timeout during their Australia Open semi. The Spaniard seemed to be cramping up, but tennis rules say that shouldn't be a valid reason for medical support.
He took like an hour and a half off where he wasn't moving. Maybe I should have used that better. Maybe I should have won the sets a bit quicker, and then moving into the fifth, maybe he wouldn't have had so much time to recover.
Well, Alcaraz went on to win that deciding fifth set. The whole match took just under 5.5 hours. In the other semi, Jannik Sinner leads Novak Djokovic by 2-1. More details on that fourth set, with Toby Gillis very shortly here on H&J.
talkSPORT News.
A migrant has been jailed for life after a hotel worker was stabbed to death in Walsall, and China is removing sanctions from 5 current and former British MPs and 2 members of the House of Lords. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got more premium tyres than the number of times you'll hear, "Ooh, it's a bit nippy this winter." Book today at quickfit.com.
We're expecting heavier rain and strong winds to move into southern areas this afternoon. Cloudy and breezy for many, feeling chilly in the north.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, please tell us, Andy, what's coming up?
Yes, coming up over the next 3 hours, Stan Collymore gives us his take on the week's football talking points. I thought it was big talking points, or big football talking points, or any sort of football talking points. Yeah. Gareth A. Davis discusses the day's big boxing story.
That's why I didn't go big twice.
I see.
You can go too big sometimes.
I know. And former F1 driver Karen Chanduk pops in with his thoughts on an uncharacteristically upbeat Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, having good practice sessions with Ferraris, in a very good mood at the moment. We'll also have more of Andy's nonsense by numbers. We'll test the strength of today's transfer rumours, and we'll keep you updated with the opening Sri Lanka-England T20 match live on talkSPORT. I think they're still planning to get underway at 1:30. It might be slightly delayed. I think the toss has been slightly delayed, so we shall see.
There's all this plus the clips of the week, the Falls panel, and NFL Legends Hall of Fame snub in Todd Macklin's American Sports round.
It's been the big, despite the Super Bowl coming up, it's been the big story of the week. You aware of this story?
No, what is it?
Bill Belichick.
Oh yeah, I am aware of it.
Yeah, didn't get the
ridiculous. It's sort of politics nonsense.
Yeah, but anyway,
you can't take it. It doesn't matter what he does since he left.
It's a bit like not putting Pep in the Hall of Fame, isn't it? Really,
it's ridiculous. I mean, they're absolutely mad. I mean, the number of Super Bowls he won and the effect he had is ludicrous that he wouldn't be in there first.
Anyway, that and a whole bunch of other stuff with Todd Macklin a little bit later on. But it is 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul. I'll start with the news that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has closed down his final business, Pitch at the Palace.
Yeah.
It's a shame he never got that 4G surface installed, isn't it?
It would have been great for a kickabout, wouldn't it? Get some use out of it. Would have been lovely.
Not that sort of pitch.
No, that's true.
And
at Selhurst Park as well. Nice.
Yeah. Emma Raducanu's got rid of more coaches than Marinakis.
Yes, that is true. Yes,
every time
she'll hit on one in the end.
You'd think, like after 8 coaches, you think she'd say to herself, "You know what? It might be me."
Well, I'm sure there's been a bit of that going on.
Doesn't seem it, does it? Really?
Yeah. Why don't you coach her, Andy, with your great deep love of tennis and tennis skills?
My motivational skills.
Yeah, you'd be brilliant. I think she'd be destroyed within about a week.
And Sir Keir Starmer gave President Xi of China, a football. And apparently President Xi supports 3 teams.
Does he?
Arsenal, United and Palace. So he could have given him a third, and a third scarf.
What? That's an odd...
I know.
Why Palace?
Why Palace?
Do we know why he's a big fan of Palace?
I don't think he really said, actually. He did say that Sir Keir Starmer...
Dave Swindlehurst, was he a fan of that sort of Don Rogers?
I can't find the bit where he said Sir Keir Starmer was a good... Oh, yeah, here it is. He said, Xi also mentioned Sir Keir's five-a-side prowess, saying he was something of a professional.
Wow.
Oh, no,
not sure about that.
Absolutely terrible.
Really does want to get that deal done, doesn't he? We talked about the ball. The actual ball in question was a match ball from Manchester United Arsenal.
Yeah.
And apparently Xi is more Manchester United than he is Palace and Arsenal.
Yeah, he is. That's his big...
And so we just wondered if Keir Starmer would have just said, "Here, you have it, I don't want it," and threw it at him.
Oh, I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Probably not. No.
That wouldn't be. Not much.
What did you watch? Any football last night?
I did. I watched...
Did you go with Forest?
I did. I was going to go with either the goals show or... I only came in at half-time. I was only going to watch the second half. But I thought Villa might be good. That might be a good game. They're 2-0 down, but they're a good side, Villa, and they could get back in the team. So I watched again, and it was a good game. So you were
rewarded for that. Yeah.
You know, and you have to hand it to them. I mean, they had nothing in that game. They're already qualified. He picked a very strong team, which sort of surprised me. But... You know, they did really well. They turned it around. And it's funny with Harvey Elliott. I mean, he had a couple of great chances. And I don't know why, we'll ask Stan this, I don't know why Unai Emery doesn't fancy him. I know there's some sort of deal, but he's a good footballer. He's a good player. I don't see... The fact they took him in the first place, I can't see why he doesn't fancy him, but there must be a reason.
Yeah.
But he said nothing's changed, even though he played well, nothing's changed. And
so he's up for grabs, is he? I mean, obviously...
He can only go... This is his problem. He can only go back to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And they don't want him to play a certain amount of games because then they've got to buy him. So that's it. He's in a difficult position. I feel for him.
You wonder how a deal like that gets structured. It's not, I mean, obviously, you're back. If you're an agent or whatever, you're backing your player to get game time, they're going to be fine. You don't see this coming. But it's not great for the player. He's in between a rock and a hard place, isn't he, really?
He is. I think Villa could definitely win the Europa League.
Yeah.
Which would have meant 6 teams in the Champions League again next season, which UEFA would hate. But actually... You have to think Villa are going to make it anyway, aren't they? They're going to make it through the league position.
You would think so.
If they win the Europa League, I don't know what happens to that place, but I wouldn't think it'll go to an English team. So.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it gets passed on.
Yeah,
you've actually got to win it.
Yeah.
That would be nuts, wouldn't it, if they did that?
UEFA will definitely be hoping this season one of the true powerhouses.
On behalf of Spurs and Arsenal, let me apologise, should this happen, that you might have to rejig your home and away European games because we can't have 3 games in London over the same night, can we? We're going to have 2 games in London on the same night.
Yeah, it's pretty poor.
It means that Chelsea have got to play either away first or 30 miles out of London.
It's such a disadvantage for no reason of their own, except that the police can't manage to do this thing.
Well, they're just not allowed to do it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty high risk having everybody travelling around. So.
I suppose so.
Yeah. You know. And somehow Tottenham finished 4th, so we seem to get some kind of strange precedent.
They're going to win the Champions League and finish 17th.
Well... or 18th even.
Yeah,
that would be something. Which Danny Kelly didn't have a problem with the other day.
Oh, yeah.
So.
That's ridiculous. It'd be a disaster. It really would. I might say this later, but I've got a list of, at the Times, very helpfully listed Nicola Peltz Beckham's monthly outgoings.
She gets £1 million quid a month pocket money, doesn't she?
There's a 122 grand goes for the mortgage on a $16 million home.
Yeah.
It's all in dollars.
Okay.
Interior design Heidi Callier.
Oh, yeah.
Who recently masterminded Kendall Jenner's architectural...
Well, I could have told you that.
Yeah, of course. 104 grand. She charges $1,300 an hour.
Wow, that's good money.
Blimey, that's a lot of money.
Like Alan Brazil money, that is.
Full-time housekeeping, staff of 4, 20 grand. Mm-hmm. Lease on a Bentley Continental, $3,999.
Right. Yeah,
$4 grand to you.
Yep.
A daily lunch delivery of Goop Kitchen's cult favourite Brentwood Chinese chicken salad. $1,000 a month for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
God. Private firefighter on retainer. I mean, I know they live in California, but that's ridiculous, isn't it? For goodness.
Keeping Trumpton on call. That's brilliant, isn't it? That's wonderful.
Pool maintenance, $400. That sounds quite cheap.
Has she got Pew Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grub, or just one of them?
Answer Johnny.
She's just got Grub.
Yeah, Grub.
He's the only one who stays there. I mean, firefighters have a fair bit of downtime anyway. But imagine being the personal firefighter to the Beckham-Peltzes. I mean, you just get... does he go and have a...
You'd be bored. You go and start a fire. Go and set fire to the kitchen. Go just for a laugh.
Morning, Arson. There must be situations where, he goes out, Brooklyn, and he says, hello, Dave. And he says, all right, Brooklyn. He said... Can you smell smoke? Well, I can't, mate. No, I've got to be honest. Can't see flames, can't smell smoke. It's another quiet day. And have a kick about in the yard.
Well, maybe.
That'd be good. Do you reckon they've got their own pole? I'm quite intrigued by this. I don't know. His own little fire engine.
Yeah, well, I suppose so, yeah. I mean, no point just having the firefighter there without the equipment.
Well, that's very true. Otherwise, just a bloke with a bucket there, isn't it? And you're not giving him £1,000 a day.
You're like this.
It's a good gig for a fireman, though.
I'll only do this.
Firefighter. Sorry.
I'll save these.
Could be a woman.
It could be.
I keep saying this.
Well, we don't know.
I say it's Dave. It could be Davina. Trevor Brooking. I say it could be Dave. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'll save the fashion, wellness, entertainment, and travel for later. But the beauty and fitness regime. She has weekly salmon sperm facials.
Is she?
Apparently.
Blimey.
From Canodia Med Spa in Beverly Hills.
Not from the local Cheppy, then.
£4,000. $4,000.
Okay.
It's a lot of salmon. I won't go any further.
He doesn't cook with it, does he? I mean, not after the phone, but I mean, he could make you a salmon sperm burger, couldn't he?
It would be affecting the, salmon population if they keep using all the sperm for facials. I would have thought.
I'm not sure. Well, let's get Chris Packham on, shall we? Because I'm not sure that stacks up.
Thrice weekly sessions with Gunnar Pettersson, Jennifer Lopez's trainer, $4,800.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, these people have got more money than sense, haven't they?
Oh, it sounds like a great life to me.
Dermatological... that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, dermatological, not Dermot Gallagher-logical.
Dermot Gallagher.
Dermatological
maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
From Dr. Simon Urian, a favourite of the Kardashian family.
Oh, yeah.
$40,000 a month. $40,000 a month.
This is all good, Andy.
Oh,
keep it coming.
That's it.
The cricket should be underway shortly. Slight delay in the toss, but Alex Tudor's going to pop in, one of our commentary team. Oh, a huge game of tennis unfolding in the Aussie Open.
Is there?
Yeah. I mean, is there? So let's get an update.
Be less interested, but let's hear about it.
Yeah, but that's you, Andy. Just don't take out. Some people, they love tennis and they want to know what's going on with Djokovic.
Toby loves it.
Djokovic and Sinner. Toby Gillis has been watching it all unfold. Is he slowly getting there, you think, Yannick Sinner?
Not right now. No, Novak Djokovic is a break-up in the fourth set. Sinner took the third set by 6-4. He's taken the first and third. Djokovic took the second. I have to confess, guys, I thought this was going to be a straight sets victory very comfortably for Yannick Sinner. It is proving anything but. Djokovic has upped his game significantly this evening compared to what he has played prior in this tournament, and of course he hasn't played that much prior because he's had 2 walkovers in a row before this semi-final, but he has played rolling back the years, shall we say. Sinner is not at his absolute best. He hasn't been throughout the tournament either. But my word, Djokovic is giving him a good old fight. He is serving at 4-3 in the fourth set, a couple of games away potentially from taking it the distance. Just, of course, as the first semi-final today went, that was a little bit more blood and thunder than this. A sensational match that Carlos Alcaraz came through in the end, and he awaits the winner of this in Sunday's final.
The Australian Open update on talkSPORT with TNT Sports. Every set exclusively live on TNT Sports. Subscription required. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Toby, I guess it's very late there now, so I mean,
It's going to be another 2 hours, isn't it?
They're going to get this done tonight or not?
Oh, yeah. They play till whenever in Australia. It's midnight in Australia at the moment, so not as late as it can be. But, yeah, I mean, historically, there have been complaints about this in the past where they've ended up playing until 3 in the morning. This, for a match that might be about to go into a fifth set, isn't the longest by any means. We're not quite at 3 hours yet. For a four-set match, that's not terrible. I mean, to give you an example, that the semi-final earlier, which was the longest in the history of the Australian Open, went 5 hours 27 minutes.
Wow.
I don't think there's a chance that this one's going to go that distance.
OK, Toby, back to you later. Thanks very much. Toby Gill is right across that. Djokovic, Sinner. Yeah, wow, it's impressive.
I can't think of anything worse than sitting there for 5 hours and 27 minutes. God. That would be dumb.
If you like tennis, you wouldn't feel like that.
I know, but
I'm sure there are tennis fans out there who can't believe you can sit there for an hour and a half and watch a game of football. But, you know, horses for courses. Well, not horses, obviously, you say horses. Anyway, let's move on. We've had the Euro draws earlier on today. What have we learnt from them? Kevin Hatchard's going to join us, European football expert, will give us his take. Alex Judy's going to pop in. He's part of our commentary team, bringing you live commentary of Sri Lanka, England, the first of the T20s, going, oh, blimey, the covers are coming back on again. Look.
Oh dear.
Just looking at the pictures now, the ground staff, it's a bit, it's been a bit rainy earlier on. They were on earlier and they got them off, got everything ready, and the covers are now back on. But Alex Tudor will pop in and see us. We'll look at some of the big transfer stories of the day in the first hour. We're over in the States with Gareth A. Davis, a big bare-knuckle event tomorrow, but we'll look at some of the other stories from the world of boxing today. Stan Collymore. We're going to maybe talk Liverpool-Newcastle. I don't know if he's got any memories of particularly good games against Newcastle for Liverpool. We'll see. He might have something up his sleeve. And the clips of the week. That's all to come. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station.
What have we got this morning? I'm hearing that Crystal Palace are prepared to throw some money around, right?
Yeah, they've thrown money around already in this transfer window. It was a club record deal that took Brennan Johnson from Tottenham to Crystal Palace. Now it looks like they're going to smash that transfer record again. Wolves still waiting for the formal written offer, but we can report an agreement in principle between Crystal Palace and Wolverhampton Wanderers for their one-to-way striker, Jørgen Strand Larsen. I'm told that offer, when it does come in, will be £45 million plus £5 million in add-ons. So a £50 million deal for a player I know that Simon Jordan doesn't rate particularly highly.
Neither do you. £50 million player.
Right? It's called an opinion. I was prepared to pay £5 million for Eddie Akinbaye. What does that say about me? If you go back 20 years and look at the comparative scale, they're probably in the sort of ballpark of money.
You're being harsh on this lad.
I think he's useless. I do, but that's just my personal opinion. If Palace don't think he is, then I'll be happy to be proven wrong. I'll be happy for him to go and make a big deal of scoring lots of goals for Palace and making me look a fool. I'll be happy to be on the receiving end of that. Listen, if they've sold Gehi, which has funded the transfer of Brennan Johnson, because they've probably got Man City to pay all up and pay for Brennan Johnson on the drip. They might do the same here. Yeah. They sell Mateta. So what? I mean, look. I'm not. Do you like him as a player, Alex?
Well, Alex, I was about to say, Alex. I mean, you work in games live for talkSPORT, and no doubt have seen Strand Larsen live on a few occasions while Simon's been trolling around Legoland. What do you see in this player?
I thought he looked a handful last season. Obviously, that prompted interest from Newcastle in the summer, but he's not been able to replicate that this season. I remember speaking to Sean Derry, actually, former Wolves coach at Arsenal. I think it was the first day of last season, and said, "What's this boy all about?" And he said, "You know what? In training, he looks the real deal. He could well be someone who scores goals regularly in the Premier League." So I'll reserve judgment. I still think they should have taken the money, Wolves, when Newcastle.
Yes, we've had the draw earlier on today for the playoffs for the European competitions, well, certainly for the Champions League and the Europa League. And it's interesting because considering there's so much British interest in it, the one standout one doesn't involve the British teams at all. Kevin Hatchard watched it all unfold. Hi, Kev.
How are we, gents?
It's Benfica Real 2 after all the drama of the Trubin winner. They go again.
It's back, and this time it's personal. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting because obviously it was a very unusual one-off game in the sense that Real Madrid kind of was sleepwalking through the game, not realising, I think, that they were going to drop out of the top 8, got themselves down to 9 men. And then, as we know, Anatoly Trubin scores an incredible goal to make it 4-2 to Benfica deep into stoppage time to send them through. So, again, it's Jose Mourinho. It would have been him up against a former club anyway, because if it hadn't been Real Madrid, it would have been Inter. But he does have that magic in this competition. Real Madrid will be favourites, but there is such a variance in their performances at the moment, and they have so many problems defensively, you know, and they've had Rodrigo sent off now, and they've had Raul Asensio sent off, so there are gaps in the back line, and they'll be missing Rodrigo. You just never quite know what you're going to get. So Real Madrid will be favourites, but there's an opportunity here.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of eyes on it.
Is there something wrong with this format, though, that this could happen? I mean, they've just played each other. Why do they want to play again? There are all these other teams to play. In the old format, you couldn't meet anybody from your own country. You couldn't meet anybody you'd played already. I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, I mean that's true. You couldn't have that in the last 16, but then of course you could have that situation in the quarterfinals or semi-finals or finals. So it's a bit jarring because they've literally just played the last game against each other, but that is just a quirk of the format. So it does seem odd, but equally there's something quite dramatic about it because they'll get to renew hostilities straight away.
Bit of a nightmare for Eddie Howe and Newcastle. Trip to Kazakhstan is a long old schlep, isn't it, for Karabakh?
It is, and Karabakh, people will look at the fact that they've just been absolutely hammered at Anfield and think that this is an easy tie. I wouldn't necessarily see it that way. Chelsea found it tough going over there, only drew 2-2. I think Newcastle will look at it and think they'd have probably preferred Monaco because Monaco are having an absolute nightmare at the moment. Domestically, they're in really bad form and they're pretty banged up, got lots of injuries. Karabakh are beatable, of course. They don't have a huge amount of experience in this competition, but it's about going out there and making no mistakes.
Another byproduct of this is domestic dust-up. So we got Monaco v PSG as well, Kev.
Yeah, and there's a parallel here because if you remember, PSG had to go through the playoffs last season and they played a Liga side in the playoff and they hammered them. They took on Brest and beat them really comfortably across 2 legs, and that gave them genuine momentum. And then by the time they started playing the English sides, they started taking them to pieces. So really interesting. Obviously, Liverpool pushed them all the way and it went to penalties, but then they looked really good after that.
It says here the winner of the tie between Newcastle and Karabakh will face either Chelsea or Barcelona in the last 16. How do they determine that? Obviously, whoever wins between Newcastle and Karabakh, I get that. But I mean, how do they decide who the opposition is?
So the thing that will change it is the brackets. So Chelsea will end up on one side of the draw, and they're in the same pairing as Barcelona, I think. So Barcelona would end up on the other. So if you look at, say, Arsenal and Bayern, they finish top 2. They cannot meet until the final. So Arsenal will go on one side, Bayern will go on the other. So, for example, Arsenal's pairings are these. Arsenal could get either the winners of Atalanta Dortmund or they get the winners of Leverkusen Olympiacos. So either way, that could be a tricky tie. Leverkusen, I don't think, are anywhere near the team they were under Xabi Alonso for obvious reasons because most of their star players went. But Dortmund or Atalanta could be awkward. You look at Man City, they could get the winners of Werder Glimt against Inter. I don't think they'd want Bodo again. Or the winners of Benfica against Real Madrid. And Liverpool and Tottenham are in the same position, so they could get Galatasaray or Juventus, or they could get the winners of Club Brugge against Atletico. So there are some tough ties potentially in that last 16.
Yes, so let's have a look at the Europa League because we kind of knew what was going on because so many of the English clubs had finished in the top 8. We knew kind of roughly the sort of teams they'd be playing, but We found out that Forest are going to be playing Fenerbahce, which on the face of it doesn't sound like an easy tie. What sort of nick have they been in recently, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, a little up and down. They did get a bit closer to Galatasaray a couple of weeks ago, but then they gave back that advantage by being held at the weekend just gone. But they are a dangerous team. I mean, Villa went there and had to play really well to win 1-0. And we don't know what Forest will be prioritising at that stage. I know they've got a big squad. Sean Dyche has talked about wanting to take this competition seriously, and I'm sure that he will. But it's not an easy tie. It's absolutely not an easy tie. And Fenerbahce, again, it depends whether they prioritise it, because they might look at chasing down Galatasaray as a much more important priority in their season. Celtic have got a tough one. Really tough against Stuttgart. Yeah, Stuttgart have got an excellent coach in Sebastian Hoeneß. He's done a brilliant job. He's transformed that club from being one that was looking over its shoulder at relegation to one that finished second in the league a couple of seasons ago, won the DFB Pokal, which is the German Cup, last season. They've played some Champions League football fairly recently as well. And, you know, man for man, I think it's fair to say Stuttgart have the superior players. So you would never count Celtic out with Martin O'Neill, with his experience and that Parkhead factor, but I would have Stuttgart down as quite firm favourites for that tie right now.
I see that just finally Forest could have got Panathinaikos, which would have been very interesting with Mr. Marinakis and Olympiakos, but they avoided that. That would have been quite lively, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would have been quite tasty, considering how long he's been at the helm of Olympiakos. So, yeah, that would have been a really interesting one. I do think, you know, people have talked about the drop down from the Champions League to the Europa League and how that doesn't happen anymore and whether it's affected the quality of the tournament. I still think there are a fair few good teams in that Europa League, and I think it'll make for some really great ties. I mean, obviously United and Tottenham stuck the place out in the final, but some of the ties before that, look at United against Lyon. What a fantastic tie that was. So don't worry about the Europa League. There's life in the old dog yet.
Good stuff.
I just wonder finally what UEFA will make of all this. I mean, you know, 5 English teams in the top 8. Another one probably could join them. You know, they're not going to be happy about this dominance, are they?
No, they're not, but it's beyond their control to a certain extent, and this is the trade-off, because if you look at the concessions that UEFA have effectively made to stave off the threat of a European Super League, they gave the clubs more guaranteed games. The irony there is we talk about teams wanting to make the top 8 and not play 2 more games in the playoffs. But the whole idea was that they wanted more guaranteed money. They also wanted this extra performance spot for what effectively is the big leagues, really, more often than not. And so that's just the way it's gone with the English teams. I wonder if they'll tweak that performance spot to make it harder for the country that got it to get it the next year, although that was already supposed to be in place. So, yeah, it's difficult, but look, the Premier League's got the most money. Generally, it's got, you know, a concentration of some of the top coaches and some of the top players.
Kevin, thanks ever so much.
Cheers, chaps.
There's Kevin Hatchard looking back on the European playoff draws earlier on today. And talking European football, DAZN and talkSPORT are teaming up to bring you live coverage of Cremonese versus Inter in Serie A. On Sunday, you'll see the likes of Jamie Vardy, of course, been doing rather well at Cremonese, Lautaro Martinez, Marcus Thuram in action, with coverage underway from 5 p.m. over on the talkSPORT YouTube channel in partnership with DAZN. And we'll be building up to the match all weekend across the station, so make sure you stay tuned to talkSPORT. Alex Tudor popping in to see us shortly. The game between Sri Lanka and England, the first of the T20 series, England having won the 50-over series 2-1. It gets underway. Going to be slightly delayed because of the weather, but Alex Tudor, who's part of our commentary team, because it's going to be live on talkSPORT 2 when it does get underway, will be popping in to see us. And we'll talk transfers in the next half hour too.
Scotty, I want to ask you about Pep, because you know him very well, working under him. Will he be a Man City for the long run with this rebuild? I think you will personally, because he doesn't look like the sort of manager that will want to leave when he's not winning the big trophies. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously as well, I don't think there was many people expecting him to stay as long as he has. But to be honest, if you look at it, where else would he go and have as much control and as it's for me, it just seems like his club now. I know he come from Barcelona and he would say Barcelona's his club, but he's just transformed everything there. And to be honest, I wouldn't even like to say how long he could stay, because with him, it wouldn't surprise me if he'd done another 4 or 5 years, because the passion he has for it and how much he loves the club, it just wouldn't surprise me.
I'm watching him that touchline, Gabby Scott, and he's hungry, man. He's motivated. You can see it. Absolutely, you can see it.
Yeah.
Scott, I tell you what to ask you, mate. Goalkeeper, couple of old goal scorers here. Tell me, close up. He remarkably, in my opinion, comes in for a little bit of criticism. The finishing last night from Haaland, I thought was absolutely genius. The way he runs through, just lifts it. What's he like? What sets him above being one of the best finishers and goal scorers I think we've ever seen?
Yeah, I think obviously watching that goal as well last night, people were talking the last week or two, saying, is he struggling for confidence or what? And then you haven't scored a goal for a couple of weeks, and then you go clean through and just dink it. It just says everything about him.
Arne Slot admits Liverpool cannot afford any more slip-ups in the league as they look to take momentum from beating Qarabağ.
We are fully aware of the fact that one win isn't enough at this club, so the next one is coming fast with Newcastle.
Jeremy Frimpong will be out for a few weeks, but Curtis Jones is back from illness and Ibrahima Konate will be in the squad again after timeout following the death of his father. Now, Liverpool versus Newcastle is live on talkSPORT tomorrow night. Eddie Howe's keeping his fingers crossed. Midfield general Bruno Guimaraes will be back for that one.
He did really well to be with us in Paris, and I think that's more down to the fact that he was desperate to be there and support the players. He trained with us yesterday, but that was more of a test. So let's see how he is.
Joe Linton is weeks away after a groin injury. Tino Livramento should be back in March. Mikel Arteta's begging the Premier League to increase the size of matchday squads from 18 to 20. Meanwhile, Max Dowman will sign his first pro contract at Arsenal in December when he turns 17. Ray Parlour says Dowman is a player so mature for his age.
He knocks people off the ball, he's strong, he can drop his shoulder, goes past people, he's got that turn of pace, and some of the goals he scored, he's been brilliant in the youth team area, and I'm sure he's going to have a big say in England going forward as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he can be a big player going forward in many, many years' time.
And Newcastle will play against Qarabağ in their Champions League playoff. Real Madrid have been drawn against Benfica, a rematch of the remarkable game this week where Benfica's keeper scored an 98th minute header.
Incredible bit of fielding from Bethel. We saw a similar piece of fielding earlier today. Got him! That's the end of the innings. That's the end of the match. And that is the end of the series. Ratnaika trying to move to the offside again. Sam Curran's seen him do it 3 times and has just fired in a leg stump Yorker. Ratnaika has missed. The ball has hit. And England have closed out victory in Colombo.
Yes, it was a fine series win for England in Sri Lanka.
Turnaround because they made a poor start.
Absolutely. And we were looking forward to bringing you commentary, and hopefully we still will a little bit later on, but the covers are on. And yes, the weather not looking good.
It's funny, people often ask you who don't know about cricket, bring in Alex Tudor.
Alex Tudor, the former England fast bowler, is part of our commentary team, bringing you this series. Hi, Tubes, good to see you.
Hi, afternoon, you legends.
They often say, why don't they carry on playing in the rain? I was watching a Big Bash game recently where, I think it was last weekend, it may even been the final, I can't remember, and it absolutely bucketed down. It was ridiculous. Players couldn't play. It was madness.
Yeah.
You just can't play in the rain.
No.
The ball's too slippery, your feet are all slippery.
Remember once our old mate Ronnie Irani went over to the Southgate to watch Essex play Middlesex in an early T20, and it started to rain a bit, and they clearly wanted to put a show on. So Ronnie and I can't remember the Middlesex, it might have been Owen Morgan, I can't remember, decided they wanted to put a show on. But, I mean, it started to get heavy and they tried to stay out there. And, you just can't. The groundsman's going nuts.
It takes me back to when I was playing for London Schools all those years ago. We was playing at Battersea Ironsides, which is next to my old cricket club, Spencer. And it was bucketing down with rain. I think we were playing Kent or someone. And it was absolutely, the heavens had opened. I was captain at this time. And all the parents were shouting, get him off, get him off. And I was like, the coach weren't having it. So I just went up to my bowler. I was quite proud of myself. I was about 10 at the time. I said, mate, you're going to have to slip over. There's no way we're coming off unless you slip over. And he did, and we came off. Honestly, it was hailstones, everything. And it's no good for cricket. And I keep telling the kids at my school, I said, the reason why Mr. Tudor plays cricket is when it rains, I'm in. Having a sandwich, seeing me like a wet dog when I'm on hockey and I'm refereeing. Or umpiring, should I say?
I should just let you know that Novak Djokovic, as he said, life in the old dog yet, as Toby told us earlier on, he's taking it to a fifth set, and we will be back to Toby at the end of our chat with Alex to find out more. But yeah, and he's playing very well at the moment. He could see this out. But anyway, Goffey was in a couple of days ago on and we were looking ahead to the T20s, and he said, well, I doubt if Jofra will play, but there he is out there. Were you surprised?
Surprised, but excited. Whenever his name's in the team sheet, you get excited as the next bowler, just with the ease. I always said, I met him a couple of times, and I said, you make it look easy. I said, when we were running and bowling, we're trying absolutely everything. It looks like you're not trying, which is obviously not a thing, but his elegance of how he approaches and able to propel that ball at 90 plus for the likes of Goffey and makes us sick.
you would think if it's a nice easy action, it makes it look. You would think if that would mean he's not quite as easy prone as he is.
As well as the same, he's not.
Yeah, it's always. I mean, I always say now you would get young bowlers and they're running in and it's all a little bit too much. So if you relax and you just when you approach that crease and you just come in nicely, you'll find that your bowl actually quicker. But obviously telling that to a young kid is not quite. But as they get more experience and they get older, they learn to learn that actually bowling in straight lines and getting through is the easiest way of doing it. And just, as I said, he has a repeatable action. So it's just nice and easy over the top. And as I said, that ball comes out at a great pace. And I'm sure that Harry Brook's happy to have him back in the side.
Yeah, a bit of pace is useful in 2020, isn't it? They didn't have it in the one days. I mean, they just had Curran and Overton. They got away with it, and because they're playing in spin-friendly conditions, I presume the World Cup's going to be fairly similar.
Yeah, that's right. And John and I was talking about it at the start of our programme, where I like the balance of the side. With Archer in the side, you've got some pace. You've got Overton, who sort of is that Liam Plunkett enforcer role. He'll bowl a heavy ball, and what I mean by that, he's hitting the bat extremely hard at the top with the splice of the bat, and he mixes up his pace extremely well. Sam Curran, left arm option, can come round the wicket, over the wicket, and he bowls this incredible moon ball that he's got at the moment. And, players are starting to try and figure it out, but then he can surprise you with a bouncer at 80 miles an hour where people are listening thinking, well, that's not that quick. But when he's bowling his slower ball at 65 and there's a 15 miles per hour difference, it will rush you. So that's a good option. Then he has the spin options of Adil Rashid. He's got Liam Dawson, which are your bankers. And then you can also turn to, if it's not going right, you've got Will Jacks, and then you've got Jacob Bethel to bowl some left arm spin. So I love the balance of the side.
Is Rayan Ahmed in the team or not?
No, he's not. He's not in the starting 11. And as you say, he wouldn't. For me, he's not your banker bowler. He can come on and maybe give you 2 overs or so. But I mean, Adil Rashid, 37. He's still great, and I'm worried about what's next.
Yeah.
Because you said, for me, Ryan Ahmed's not a front line spinner. He'd be like a really good backup. But when you're throwing the ball and saying, right, come on, let's do something, I'm not sure if he's there yet because I just don't feel he's bold enough. So we got to keep rolling out Adil Rashid as long as he is happy to keep bowling.
The good news, well, I say good news, hopefully, is that the rest of the evening is supposed to be clear in Pally. That's where the game's being played. So let's hope once they
get in Pally.
I've wisdom.
This is coming from the ECB. They've posted it. They've said the weather's clear.
Okay.
How are things in Pally? Not Danny Kelly, obviously.
The ledge.
So fingers crossed they will get some play, but they're obviously going to have to mop up a little bit.
Quite encouraging, Brooke, the way he's sort of knuckled down as if he's taken on all that criticism, because in Australia that was for me one of the most disappointing. He just didn't fulfil himself. He's such a wonderful player.
Yeah, I said if England were to have any chance of doing well, he needed to have a massive series. And the frustration is I saw this young lad years ago. I was lucky enough, I was commentating on a Roses match and he got 80 odd, and I was like, wow, we've unearthed the talent here. And I remember Joe Root waxing lyrical about him. And the frustration is his first ball, he's running down and he's trying to hit it. I get all being positive, but there's a time and a place. There's a time when you've got to soak up the pressure. And when you have,
hasn't he, in the last 2 innings?
And he's done it. And as you say, when you've got the anchor like you have in the great man Joe Root at the other end, he's able to come in and play that innings as he did the other day when he's getting 130 off 66 balls. He's a prodigious talent. And I suppose as a fan, and I know yourself and Paul, massive England supporters, you just want to see it more often. As you said, when he has that ability to hit 360, to hit Mitchell Stark over extra cover for 6, but it's just like, he's their best bowler, see him out, and then get your runs against the rest. But, this England team, they have no fear. But then, as Goffrey always says, there's no real accountability, and you just want them just to knuckle down. It's all mine being positive, but as you said, it's a long test match. It's 5 days. I know they don't like playing 5 days, but it's a long time to just process, get the bowlers bowling their 4th, 5th spell. They ain't going to be bowling with the same pace, the same ferocity, and that's when you make hay.
The T20 World Cup, though, is a bit of a lottery, isn't it? Because every team has got, if you look at franchise cricket, they all play in the IPL. Every team's got great players, and it can be individual performances. It's going to be a great great 100%. Innings, or great 4 overs. So it's pretty hard to predict. I mean, England could do well. They could also struggle.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Andy. And as you say, every team, they have world-class players within them. And as you say, it's a little bit of lottery. Any one person can come out and have a day in the sun and win that game. Someone can bowl a brilliant bowling spell that gets 2 or 3 wickets. Someone can come out and get 50 off 20 balls. That changes the whole format of the game. But England, I love the balance of their side, and they bat deep. Everyone bats. They've got, powerful hitters at the top with Phil Salt, who's in the form of his life. Josh Buttler is our world-class player, one-day player within that side. Jacob Bethel, he's shown what he can do. And then you've got the likes of Tom Banton, who I suppose that'll be discussion whether... I'm thinking of left-hander now. It's gone by Duckett. If Duckett who's nursing an injury at the minute, if he comes back in, Harry Brook is a class player, and then Sam Curran, who sort of thrives in T20 cricket. He goes around the world franchise, captaining sides, winning. And then Will Jacks, Surrey supporters will know all about Will Jacks. And then Overton, who's a big hitter of the ball. Dawson, off Archer, Rashid coming at 11. It's not a bad number 11 to come in, is it?
No.
If you need sort of 20 to win, and he's batting with someone who's in, you can trust in him. You wouldn't have to shepherd him. You can trust in him that he can see us home.
Well, look, let's hope that can get underway shortly. We'll let you get back to John and the team, because I'm sure there's going to be a bit of talking till we get underway to do. But yeah, so the toss has been delayed because of the weather, but as soon as it happens, we will bring it to you. And you can hear live and exclusive ball-by-ball commentary of the first T20 between Sri Lanka and England over on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Check out the following on podcast for all the best reaction for the day's play. So, yeah, go and check out the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Listen on the app. Alex, good to see you.
Pleasure.
We'll catch up with you soon. Enjoy
Thanks,
the
guys.
afternoon.
Take care.
Thanks
Keep being great.
Let's check in once again with Toby Gillis. This amazing game between Djokovic and Sinner. You expected that Djokovic could take it to the fifth, and he has. So how's he doing in this fifth over? Fifth. I'm too much cricket chat, sorry. Fifth set.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's at least one person in the crowd that both likes football and tennis, Andy, because one matter is I've just spotted courtside watching in the Rod Laver Arena, and he's watching a staggering effort by Novak Djokovic to take this semi-final into a fifth and deciding set. One decisive break of serve right at the start of that fourth set was enough to seal it 6-4. Sinner won the first game of the fifth on serve. 2 break points on Djokovic's serve in game 2, but he saved both and got through it. So it is 1-1 on serve. This is a mental battle now because both look okay physically. Will it be Sinner looking to defend the title against Alcaraz on Sunday, or will it be Djokovic looking to go out on his own in the history of the sport with 25 Grand Slams? There are some that say if he does that, we're having a conversation about him being the greatest sportsman of all time. We'll know in 1 set's time.
The Australian Open update on talkSPORT with TNT Sports. Stream every set live on Discovery Plus or watch TNT Sports channels on EE, Sky and Virgin Media. Subscription required. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
We've just discovered that Jean-Philippe Mateta will not be in Palace's squad for the weekend, so you can draw your own conclusions from that. We'll have more on that because we're going to talk transfers next with Ben Jacobs. Later on, Stan Collymore joining us for a chat. We'll have some clips of the week for you as well. That's all to come between now and 4. We're here with Toolstation. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Toolstation.
What have we got this morning? I'm hearing that Crystal Palace are prepared to throw some money around, right?
Yeah, they've thrown money around already in this transfer window. It was a club record deal that took Brennan Johnson from Tottenham to Crystal Palace. Now it looks like they're going to smash that transfer record again. Wolves still waiting for the formal written offer, but we can report an agreement in principle between Crystal Palace and Wolverhampton Wanderers for their one-to-way striker, Jørgen Strand Larsen. I'm told that offer, when it does come in, will be £45 million plus £5 million in add-ons. So a £50 million deal for a player I know that Simon Jordan doesn't rate particularly highly.
Neither do you.
£50 million player.
Right? It's called an opinion. I was prepared to pay £5 million for Eddie Akinbaye. What does that say about me? If you go back 20 years and look at the comparative scale, they're probably in the sort of ballpark of money.
You're being harsh on this lad.
I think he's useless. I do, but that's just my personal opinion. If Palace don't think he is, then I'll be happy to be proven wrong. I'll be happy for him to go and make a big deal of scoring lots of goals for Palace and making me look a fool. I'll be happy to be on the receiving end of that. Listen, if they've sold Gehi, which has funded the transfer of Brennan Johnson, because they've probably got Man City to pay all up and pay for Brennan Johnson on the drip. They might do the same here. Yeah. They sell Mateta. So what? I mean, look. I'm not. Do you like him as a player, Alex?
Well, Alex, I was about to say, Alex. I mean, you work in games live for talkSPORT, and no doubt have seen Strand Larsen live on a few occasions while Simon's been trolling around Legoland. What do you see in this player?
I thought he looked a handful last season. Obviously, that prompted interest from Newcastle in the summer, but he's not been able to replicate that this season. I remember speaking to Sean Derry, actually, former Wolves coach at Arsenal. I think it was the first day of last season, and said, "What's this boy all about?" And he said, "You know what? In training, he looks the real deal. He could well be someone who scores goals regularly in the Premier League." So I'll reserve judgment. I still think they should have taken the money, Wolves, when Newcastle offered it last summer.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. I'm taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
The countdown is on and the window is about to slam shut. Transfer deadline day is here again and the football world means business. We'll bring you the bargains, the whispers, every deal, every twist. Which superstar signing is about to shake this season to its core? The biggest breaking stories, and we bring them to you.
It's been that kind of bonkers window.
An unbelievable window.
One of the all-timers. It's been a busy transfer window.
talkSPORT keeps you in the know. This is Transfer Deadline Day. This is talkSPORT.
Yes, good old Jim, Mr. Deadline Day himself. He'll be with you from 6:30, straight after Deadline Day drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on Monday. Of course, the windows
that busy? It's been that busy.
Windows closing at 7. I think it could be a busy weekend. Certainly could be busy Monday. So 6:30, Jim takes over. Danny Murphy, Alex Crook alongside him. And right across the weekend, we're going to be on it for you, keeping a very close eye on everything that's going on and who your club could be signing. That's online, smart TV, and on the talkSPORT app. Let's talk transfers now with Intuit QuickBooks. Ben Jacobs joins us. Hi, Ben.
Transfer window. Breaking news on talkSPORT with Intuit QuickBooks. Tackle your self-assessment with Intuit QuickBooks. Search QuickBooks to find out more.
And we have this Mateta news, Ben, don't we? That's just come in. He's not going to be involved in Palace's squad, and it looks like he's heading for Italy.
Yeah, that's my understanding. So Jean-Philippe Mateta has asked Crystal Palace to exclude him from the squad at the weekend. Naturally, it will be the club's final decision. But as it stands, Mateta not to play in a match against Nottingham Forest that looked about a week ago like it might be Mateta going to Forest after that match. But Milan have come in. And as we've said many times on this show, Mateta's clear preference is Serie A. He wanted the move to Juventus. Last year, Milan held some exploratory talks and Mateta said that was his number one choice. Now they've come back in and it looks like it's going to be a transfer should it go through for January, not the summer, even though lots of different options have been discussed. And in the last few hours, I'm told Milan have made a formal bid to Crystal Palace, somewhere over £30 million, but not quite the 35 million that Nottingham Forest have on the table. So now what's intriguing here is not just whether Palace reduced their £40 million asking price to let Mateta go to Milan, and I think that's realistic, but are they then going to go back to Wolverhampton Wanderers and try and shave off the difference, a few million, from the Jørgen Strand-Larsen deal? And if they can't get that price down, they might not proceed. So Strand-Larsen and Mateta look like they're intertwined as we head towards deadline day.
Strand-Larsen is in the squad for Wolves, isn't he? We've got none of that stuff going on. He's trained, says Rob Edwards, and he'll be in the squad tomorrow. That's the situation at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And Strand-Larsen is open to moving to Crystal Palace, but also very happy to wait until the end of the season when he expects to get a move anyway. And Wolves' position is exactly the same. It's a phenomenal deal on paper for Wolverhampton Wanderers, pending final details. 45 million plus 5 million in add-ons. We were led to believe at the beginning of the window 40 million would be good enough. So what I think is happening is Palace need to know Mateta is going for sure. Then I expect them to go back to Wolves and try and get that price from 50 somewhere closer to 40, 45 million, change the payment terms a little bit, and it might be that both moves happen. But at the moment, Palace are delaying because they can't sanction the Jørgen Strand-Larsen deal, especially with Evan Gesand set to join as well on a loan with a buy option until they know that that deal is in place for Mateta. And maybe reading between the lines, the delay for Strand-Larsen is because there was a point in time where Palace thought, it's Forest, we've got the offer, we can accept it after the game, everything is going to be smooth. Now Milan have entered the race and it's added a delay and a complication to negotiations because as of now, Mateta is adamant he only wants to move to Milan as long as that offer remains on the table.
Surely both players are worth about the same money. I can't see how Mateta's worth 35 and Strand-Larsen's worth 50. I know it's what you'll pay for somebody, but you know you've got to get value, and I'd say both players are.
It does feel a bit toppy, 50 million Strand-Larsen, but as you say, it's what clubs are prepared to pay, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, and also you have one deal negotiated by George Mendes, and Strand-Larsen has had other opportunities, and Palace have need. But I think my reading of the situation is Palace thought they could get 40-odd million for Mateta They were trying to drive Forest up to that number, and then it's 45 plus 5 for Strand Larsen. Not a great deal of difference. Not all of the add-ons are achievable, I'm told. But if you're suddenly selling Mateta not for 40, but south of 35, then that Strand Larsen deal needs to come down a little bit, because for all of the Exodus talk at Crystal Palace, let's not forget, if they sign Jurgen Strand Larsen, they'll have broken their club record transfer fee twice in one window, and in a window where they know their manager is departing at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's right. Having bought Brennan Johnson
They need to
for
do
35.
something, though, because they're also one of those teams looking over their shoulder.
Yeah. Wolves could be doing a bit of business. Shea Adams, bringing him back from Italy, from Torino. I guess from his point of view, he wants to keep in front of Steve Clarke and be playing regularly at a good level before the World Cup.
That's it. And as importantly, prepared to drop down into the Championship should Wolves go down, which is naturally quite likely. Che Adams was a target for Wolves before. He ended up joining Torino. And as a result, it's revisiting something that works for Wolves in the Premier League and the Championship. And as you say, Che Adams has the ability to impress Steve Clarke in the build-up to an excellent World Cup participation for Scotland in the summer. So there's a fair chance that this one will happen. The player-to-club negotiation is smooth. Che Adams wants the move. Torino a little bit more reticent to let him go, but at the right offer, I'm led to believe they won't stand in his way. So another one to watch with a realistic chance of getting done between now and the end of the window.
Just a quick one on Jeremy Jacquet. It looked like Chelsea had a clear run, and then it looked like it wasn't going to happen. Then I've been reading that Liverpool could be interested as well. I mean, it sounds like a very good player, French international. What's the latest on that? Could that get done by Monday?
Yeah, and Rennes Demete has gone to Al Hilal. That's 30 million euros in the bank for them, which means they no longer financially are going to be as swayed. So if Chelsea are going to do anything now, they've got to pay above 64 million euros, which was the club record sale that saw Jeremy Doku go to Manchester City, and Chelsea's valuation is lower. The compromise is a pre-agreement or a loan back, because Rennes want to keep the players they push for Champions League football. And if Chelsea go down that route, they could get ahead of their rivals, because if they don't do it now, whether for January or on a pre-agreement, the summer's going to be a much bigger pool of suitors, including potentially Liverpool and Bayern Munich. So Chelsea are working on this one right until the end of the window, but I sense they're either going to have to go above that 64 million euros number to change Rennes' mind for now, or they're going to have to go down the route of a pre-agreement or a loan back. And as it stands, talks continue with all of those options on the table.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ben. I'm sure we'll hear from you over the weekend. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Ben Jacobs there, part of our team, bringing you everything that's going on around transfers before the window closes, 7 p.m. on Monday. Alex Crook and the team, of course, are right across it. talkSPORT.com throughout the weekend for all the updates, the rumours, the breaking news, the deals that are getting done. And as we said, a special Deadline Day show from 6:30, straight after Deadline Day Drive. We'll be doing the regular on Monday, of course, keeping you right across everything that's going on. All of us will on the station, of course, right through from breakfast. And 7 p.m, the window closes. Before that, Jim White, Danny Murphy and Alex Crook will bring you a special show just as the window closes. If you're wondering why we're not bringing you updates on Sri Lanka versus England, it's because it's raining and the toss has been delayed. There's some hope to get some playing a little bit later on, but we'll be right across that for you. When it does get underway, it'll be live on talkSPORT 2. But still to come with us, Stan Collymore joins us, Gareth A. Davis over in Miami. We'll be talking boxing, and we'll have a Falls panel. We'd like you to get involved in that to try and predict the scores of these games. You can represent the talkSPORT listeners, the panel beaters. Liverpool versus Newcastle, Spurs v City, and Sunderland v Burnley. So there are the games we're covering. The number to call is 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. Call us now. We'll call you back at 2:45. We'll need you for 10 minutes to take us on, Stan, our commentator in the Falls panel today. But the sports headlines are next.
Transfer window. Breaking news on talkSPORT with Intuit QuickBooks. Tackle your self-assessment with Intuit QuickBooks. Search QuickBooks to find out more.
This is Robbie Williams with Angels.
I sit and wait. Does an angel contemplate my fate? Or do they know the places where we go when we're growing old? 'Cause I've been told that salvation lets their wings unfold. So when I'm lying in my bed, thoughts running through my head, and I feel that love is dead. In your cars, on the buses, I'm loving angels instead. Everybody's and through it.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your latest sports headlines, I'm Matt Hutchinson. Good afternoon. David Moyes says Jack Grealish will probably need surgery on a foot fracture. He's likely to be out for the rest of the season, effectively ruling out Grealish's lingering hopes of making the World Cup. On the other side of Merseyside, Arne Slot admits Liverpool cannot afford any more slip-ups in the league. The race for the top four is hotting up as Liverpool in 6th look to build on their Champions League midweek win.
We are fully aware of the fact that one win isn't enough at this club, so the next one is coming fast with Newcastle.
Well, Jeremy Frimpong will be out for a few weeks, but Curtis Jones and Konate are now back. Liverpool-Newcastle is live on talkSPORT tomorrow night, and Eddie Howe is keeping his fingers crossed that Bruno Guimaraes will make that one.
He did really well to be with us in Paris, and I think that's more down to the fact that he was desperate to be there and support the players. He trained with us yesterday, but that was more of a test. So look, let's see how he is.
Joe Linton is weeks away after a groin injury, and Tino Livramento should be back in March. Meanwhile, Newcastle have been drawn against Qarabag in the Champions League playoffs. Real Madrid will face Benfica, a rematch of the remarkable game this week where Benfica's keeper scored a 98th minute header. In the Europa League, Forest have got Fenerbahce, while Celtic will face Stuttgart for a place in the last 16. As we've been hearing, Jean-Philippe Mateta has been left out of Palace's squad for this weekend's match. That's amid interest from AC Milan and Forest themselves, who've both bid around £35 million. And last but not least, the men's semi-finals are being held at the Australia Open tennis today. Toby Gillis is following the action for us. Toby, what's the latest?
Oh, this tennis has gone up to a new level in the 5th set. Yannick Sinner's led 1-0 and 2-1, but Novak Djokovic hasn't allowed him to pull away, even having had 5 break points across 2 Djokovic service games in the 5th set so far. All of them saved. Sinner, by contrast, winning his service games with ease. This is mind-boggling stuff, though. 3-2 Sinner, Djokovic serving. The match could still go either way.
Cheers, Toby. There's life in the old dog yet. There's plenty more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
An asylum seeker from Sudan has been jailed for a minimum of 29 years for murdering a hotel worker in Walsall, and there's disruption to the West Coast mainline train services following a fire earlier today. There's more news, and there's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Whatever the winter weather, Bridgestone Turanza all-season 6 tyres, guaranteed for 25,000 miles. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
We're expecting the rest of this afternoon to be cloudy for most, with rain for some, and there's going to be hill snow in the north.
Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Stan Collymore joining us a little bit later on, and this is something of a Stan Collymore game we're going to cover now. It's our bet builder with our friends at Paddy Power. Of course, it's Liverpool versus Newcastle, which I think Stan has fond memories of one particular matchup. Ben Steele joins us from Paddy Power. Hi, Ben.
Hi, how you getting on?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So, again, probably worth explaining briefly how the bet builder works.
Yeah, sure. So it's the 5 selections that we've got. One from the 3 of us, one from your producer Sean, and then a final 5th pick, which is a popular backed bet by the Paddy's punters that we've had a few picks so far. We'll combine that into a bet builder, place it on the game, and hopefully, if we win some money, we'll be able to donate that to the Attitude Foundation and do a lot of really good stuff helping the LGBTQ community across the country.
Excellent. Well, I'll kick us off. I do expect both teams to score. So was that been a popular bet?
It has, yeah. And look, obviously you talked about it. You said you've got Stan Collymore coming on later. He's one of many people to score in this game. It's a pretty iconic one for all those 4-3s back in the 90s. And there's still a lot of goals now. The game earlier this season ended 3-2 with that, was it 100th minute winner from the 17-year-old? And that actually made it 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two sides have had both teams to score. So I think I like that one as well. That was going to be my pick if you hadn't picked it yourself, to be honest.
Andy, you have gone...
I've gone with Ekitike to have 2 or more shots. He's Liverpool's best player at the moment. He's consistent, and I fancy him to do
And has been talking, hasn't he, about how he nearly went to Newcastle before he went to Liverpool.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, look, I mean, he's as you say, Andy. He's been fairly consistent with the shots. He didn't have any when he came off the bench against Bournemouth last week, but that ended a 3-match streak where he'd had at least 4 shots in the game. So I'd hope that 2 is pretty handy. And as you say, he got a goal in midweek, one of many Liverpool players to manage that. But yeah, it's very very handy one. And look, he might get a bit of a reception from the away fans. I can't remember if he got too many boos when he was over in St James's Park. But yeah, big game for him.
And producer Sean has gone for somebody else who scored midweek in Europe. Salah to score or assist?
Yes, yeah, he got a goal on Wednesday, as you said, and then an assist of sorts against Bournemouth. He knocked a ball about half a yard so Szoboszlai could score. So he's come back with a bit of a spring in his step. He's got really good form against Newcastle in general. His last 7 games against the Magpies, he's had either a goal, an assist, or both. So I don't mind Sean's pick there either.
So yeah, the Paddy punters, interesting. One of their more popular bets this weekend in their bet builders is 3+ saves by Newcastle's keeper.
Yeah, I think they've been looking at Liverpool's sort of shots these last few games. They've had 86 shots in the last 4 games. Admittedly, 34 of them were against Qarabag when they absolutely hammered them. But they're obviously not shy to have a go. So you'd be looking for Newcastle's keeper to be pretty busy. We assume that's going to be Nick Pope. And if you can make 3 saves, that'll be a winner for the people there.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because in Match of the Day last week, they highlighted how shot shy Liverpool are at the moment.
Yeah, that's those situations where Wirtz was in good positions and they've been looking to pass instead of shoot.
The stats don't bear that out, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of those shots have been coming in the Champions League. Obviously, they played Marseille and Qarabag, which is pretty handy. In the Burnley game, they had nearly 30 themselves there, but obviously didn't actually get the win, which is unfortunate for them.
And what have you gone with, Ben?
So Andy, you said you think Ekitike has been their best player. I would making a pick for Dominic Szoboszlai myself personally. Well, so I'm picking him to have one or more shot on target. My only sort of real concern, to be honest, is that he might end up playing right back. Although I think just before hearing the news that it seemed like Konate's back fit, which hopefully strengthens up Liverpool's defence a little bit. Even if he does play right back, he's a real threat from set pieces, as we saw last week, and obviously that kind of goal of the season contender against Arsenal right back in the summer.
So what are we looking at across the ball for this bet then, Ben?
Yeah, sure. So those 5 selections, which we'll just run you through quickly again. Bet both teams to score, Ekitike to have 2 or more shots, Salah to score or assist, Newcastle's goalkeeper, whoever it is, to have 3 or more saves, and Dominic Szoboszlai to have 1 or more shot on target. We put those together, that comes in at just over 5-2, meaning that our £10 bet will be hopefully winning for just over £45, £45.91, which will be donating to the Attitude Foundation. Quick reminder there that those 3 player-specific selections, Ekitike, Salah and Szoboszlai, will be covered by Super Sub. So if the player comes off, the bet will roll on to the next guy there.
Excellent. Well, fingers crossed. That'll be good. Have a good weekend, Ben. Thanks very much.
You too. Enjoy. Have a good one.
Ben still there from Paddy Power. That's Paddy's bet builder for today. Minimum odds 1 to 5 per leg. 18.
We have been doing a bit better this season. So
we have. Yeah, fingers crossed. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Unfortunately, still no live cricket to bring you over on talkSPORT 2.
Looking very shiny, though. They're really nice.
What was the covers?
Yeah, very shiny.
We've got a big screen in front of us, and it's just a big wide shot of the covers on the pitch. Toss delayed due to rain. It should have started at 1:30. Apparently, it's not.
Look, there's a bit of activity.
Yeah,
around
they said it's not.
Area.
They said about 20 minutes ago it had stopped raining, and the forecast was to stay dry. But so they're going to have a little bit of work to do, aren't they? So look, yeah, fingers crossed. There's a bit of movement around the covers. But anyway, when it does get underway, it'll be live on talkSPORT 2, and we'll keep you updated. We're off to Miami next to have a chat with Gareth A. Davis. But before that, Andy, the Beckham-Peltzes.
Oh yes,
you were telling us how the £1 million a month allowance that the Brookman's missus get. Me. You were talking us through one of the revelations in the last hour was that they have an in-house fireman or a firefighter,
private firefighter on retainer, $500. Seems quite cheap. Perhaps he does a lot of properties.
Just sort of maybe, or yeah.
Well, you're not going to mean $500 a month. You can't live on that.
Maybe they've got their own fire station on the premises. So you were taking us through. There was quite a lot of salmon sperm facials going on.
There were, yeah, for $4,000 a month.
Yeah,
but we're now onto fashion.
Oh, okay. Of course we are.
Styling consultations from a Hollywood stylist, unnamed, $2,000 plus.
Wow.
Seasonal updates from the Row knitwear. Irene Neuwirth jewellery and Prada bracket shoes jackets, 15,000. Bi-weekly psychotherapy sessions,
wow,
3,200.
Come to that, is it?
Obviously,
yeah.
A one-time consultation with the sex and relationship expert Esther Perel.
We do that at your.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
we're afraid to ask, but her speaking fee is $150,000.
Wow! Well, so every time she speaks.
Yeah. When she, does a bit of after dinner.
Yeah, she does.
It's Quinny.
She can do a blue act
Quinny,
if she wants to as well.
Yeah.
She mops up the stuff that Quinny doesn't want to do on the circuit, right, yeah. On the after dinner circuit. Yeah.
Weekly dinners at San Vicente Bungalow, $3,000.
Okay.
Courtside seats at Los Angeles Lakers versus Boston Celtics.
Nice.
$25,000. I mean, it only happens once a month.
So you can see where the money's going. You can see how they get through it.
Yeah. And
she needs a new $1 million every month.
Well, that's right. And the long weekend at the one and only Palmilla Resort at Los Cabos.
Yeah.
Makes it $30,000. Round trip private jet to visit the family in Palm Beach, $100,000.
Yeah.
And finally, a week-long ski holiday in Aspen, including suites at the Little Nell, whatever that is.
No, I've never been to the Little Nell. I saw Marina Hyde saying the other day that she'd heard a whisper that the family would. They hoped one day that he was allowed to stand on his own 2 feet, make his own way in the world. But this sounds quite a cushy number. This,
yeah, definitely, that's not going to happen.
I'd just be having a kick about with a fireman in the yard.
I mean, honestly, they made this big statement last week, which it had a bit of resonance to it. It felt, like perhaps they, and they asked for privacy, and and all they've done since then is post public. Photos, including like $75,000 worth of wine.
It's a shame, Andy.
It's a shame. What can you do?
We're talking boxing next. Gareth A. Davis will be joining us. We've got a special event, Bare-knuckle event tomorrow in Miami that we're going to bring you on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. Gareth's out there for that. We're going to talk about Tyson Fury, a very emotional video released by Anthony Joshua as well today. So Gareth's coming up. Then Stan Collymore joins us and the Falls panel. Just a reminder of the games: Liverpool, Newcastle, Spurs v City, Sunderland, Burnley. Just got to predict the scores of those games and take us on and be our panel beats today. 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. Call us now and we will call you back and get you involved in around half an hour's time. We'll need you for 10 minutes. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Gear up for those darker nights with electrical and lighting offers. Next stop, Tool Station.
12 months ago when Palmer was fit. Who do you take, Fernandes or Palmer?
Palmer?
Yeah. Because now your excuse is he's not fit. Hence, we're not seeing the best of him, which I do agree with you. You have a point.
Here's a question for you, Sammy. Man United, moving forward, Bruno Fernandes or Cole Palmer?
Moving forward. Because you said moving forward, obviously Cole Palmer, because he's younger. And if he can stay fit. But look on the plus side. Fernandes is hardly injured.
No, he don't get injured a lot, to be fair to him. Doesn't get injured a lot.
No, the injuries are
produces every week as well, though, mate. I know, like, he gets a bad rap, I think, but man, you look at his stats in terms of chances created. It's ridiculous. Every season he's top.
He's top drawer, right? But Cole, it seems such an unfair conversation because Cole Palmer has had this season on the back of the Club World Cup, one player of the tournament, by the way, right? We're talking about a serious footballer here, and it wasn't that long ago that he was being looked at as the next bright young thing in world football, right? And his injuries, it's amazing what injuries can do to you if you can stay fit. Now, maybe the Club World Cup has come back to haunt him a little bit. He's played a lot of football. He's had his groin issues. He can't get in the squad. He can't stay fit. He's got his own personal issues right now to get himself back into Chelsea's best 11.
Yeah.
When he's fit, he's in Chelsea's best 11. There's no doubt about that. When he's fit, he's knocking on that door of that England 11. There's no doubt. But at the moment, he can't. The conversation feels so unfair. And I, like I said, on a personal level, you can't get fit.
Sammy, just quickly. Yeah. Bruno at his best and Palmer at his best. Who do you want in your midfield?
Bruno.
Okay.
Because we saw what he did when he first came in. He was like unreal.
The window is about to slam shut. Transfer deadline day is here again, and the football world means business. We'll bring you the bargains, the whispers, every deal, every twist.
It's been that kind of bonkers window.
An unbelievable window.
Busy transfer window.
talkSPORT keeps you in the know. This is transfer deadline day. This is talkSPORT.
The good news is the covers are coming off in the Sri Lanka-England game at Pallekele, and so the signs are good. We'll get some play, you would think, in the next half hour or so. But first, we're going to head back to Toby Gillies, who's watching this incredible game between Djokovic and Sinner, which is still well into a fifth set. Where are we at, Toby?
It's absolutely mad. For the first time in the entire match, 3 hours and 55 minutes, Novak Djokovic is ahead. He broke Yannick Sinner to lead 4-3. And even more incredibly, Sinner rushed to love 40 in the next game. Djokovic has just saved all three of Sinner's break-back points. It is deuce, 4-3 to Djokovic in this final set. If he holds serve here, he will be one game away from winning through to the final of the Australian Open for the 11th time, where he'd play Carlos Alcaraz. And a reminder, Djokovic has never lost an Australian Open final.
The Australian Open update on talkSPORT with TNT Sports. Stream every set live on Discovery Plus or watch TNT Sports channels on EE, Sky and Virgin Media. Subscription required. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Now we have bare-knuckle boxing for you on talkSPORT, the boxing YouTube channel this Saturday. Alberto Blas takes on Harold McQueen. They headline in a super featherweight fight. 3 world title fights on the card. Nottingham's Aaron McCallum, more on him in a moment. He's flying the UK flag as the only Brit on the card. It's their 50th event, so we can discuss the growth of the sport so much that they've got more UK shows coming up this year, which is great news. He's been befriended as Aaron McCallum by none other than Carl Froch, who says he thinks he could have gone down the bare-knuckle route had the sport been as big when he started.
I don't know. I mean, you say we'll talk about this, but I've been watching 1,000 Blows with Stephen Graham.
Yeah,
wonderful.
That is Victorian band. That's slightly different.
Oh, it's pretty
Gareth A. Davis.
Brutal.
Gareth A. Davis is out there for us. Andy, hi, Gareth.
Good afternoon, gents. How are you, Paul, Andy?
I've done it. We've spoken to a few bare-knuckle fighters, and we've spoken to you about it before. And Andy's immediate reaction was it was like 1,000 blows. But in fact, without the gloves, the punches aren't as heavy. You see a bit more blood, don't you? That you see more cuts, but effectively, the power of the shots, because you can't hit someone so hard with a bare hand, means they're not quite as shuddering and potentially sort of dangerous.
Yeah, and it's a much shorter duration of the bouts as well. Title fights are 6 rounds. As you say, there's 3 title fights on the top of this BKB historic 50th card here in Miami. But it's very brutal, and I think 85 to 90% of BKB's fights end in the first 2 rounds. So it's just an indication of how visceral it really is. And it's a duel, it's a shootout, very often by these extraordinary athletes who are built for combat sports. But excuse me, but the thing is that the sharpness of the fists, the sharpness of the knuckles, dictates that it's not like boxing. You're not going to go 12 rounds. But the safety aspect of it is that, yes, they do get cut. There's a lot of blood. It's quite gory. But the safety aspects are quite good in effect.
Yeah. Hand damage. I mean, that must occur.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, do we see a lot of fights stop because of hand damage, Gareth?
Well, it's funny you say that, because when Paulie Malignaggi fought Tyler Goodjohn, that did our biggest numbers on talkSPORT, 200,000 viewers on talkSPORT in Leeds last year, Paulie always had problems with his hands. We know, of course, he fought Amir Khan and Ricky Hatton, and he always had problems with hands. So what he did very cleverly, he went to the body of Tyler Goodjohn rather than the head, the skull. He just did that occasionally to keep his hands intact. It's very, very tactical. The Trigon is 16 foot by 16 foot by 16 foot. In this, it's the smallest combat surface in the world, combat area in the world. So they're allowed to clinch. There's no kind of hiding place. It's basically bell goes and the fight is on. There's no feeling out process. But it is very exciting. It's very raw. As Andy said, it does feel a bit like Victorian Fairground. You can go all the way back to gladiatorial Rome. It's the most ancient sport, mano a mano, hand-to-hand combat, but it's the fastest growing modern combat sport. So we've come full circle.
Carl's saying that he could have gone down this route. Obviously, he took the more lucrative route of, if you like, sort of straight-ahead traditional boxing. But as the sport grows and BKB gets bigger, is it becoming a kind of lucrative option for fighters? Are we seeing people dropping out of boxing going into it, or vice versa?
Yeah, I think it will happen. Well, I think that's on the money. I think people who in combat sports, people built for it, will naturally want that on their bucket list. It wouldn't surprise me to see a Conor Benn fighting in it eventually. There's no doubt Carl would have had a go at it at some point in his career. It was me that interviewed him Trigon side. It's the Trigon, not the ring. Interviewed him Trigon side when Aaron McCallum, who you mentioned earlier, was fighting at his last event, and Carl was there and absolutely loved it. He was riveted, and he had that style, didn't he? Hands down, slung, ready for throwing big heavy shots, and Carl was made for bare-knuckle.
This Saturday we've got the Teofimo Lopez Shakur Stevenson fight. That got a bit tasty, didn't it, in the pre-fight press conference? How are you viewing this one?
Oh, it's a brilliant fight. It's a fans' favourite fight. 2 of the best exponents of boxing in the world. A great matchup in their prime. Shakur Stevenson's obviously stepping up to a 4th weight division. Teofimo Lopez has already had 2 brilliant wins over southpaws, which Shakur is, over Vasyl Lomachenko and our very own Josh Taylor. I was at the Josh Taylor fight working that one, and he was brilliant. If anyone can stop Shakur's ascent to the top of the pound-for-pound list, which many people believe, myself included, he will go to, it's Teo Lopez. I thought Lopez was very cool, calm and collected at the press conference yesterday. I've watched all of it. I thought he got into Shakur's head, got him out of his seat, got him coming across. He was kind of really getting into Shakur's head. I think he did a really good job of it. And even though I've picked Shakur to win, it wouldn't surprise me if Teo did the job. But it is a brilliant fight on a brilliant card in the magic of Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. We had a very emotional video from Anthony Joshua yesterday talking about friends he lost tragically in that car accident in Lagos.
I was shocked, though, that Georgia says to me people were critical on social media. I don't know what's wrong with people.
I know.
It was so moving.
It was absolutely heartfelt, very moving, and
get it.
You do sense he kind of will fight on in their memory and in their honour, don't you?
I do. That's exactly what my feeling is, Paul. That him coming out like that, he will have been suffering all kinds of things. You know, he's been very involved with the families of the two men that died. He's an absolute gent, is Anthony Joshua. He's a classy person, and I think we've seen that, and I think that message and the emotion he's still got in him, the fact he's come out and wanted to speak about it now is he's trying to get through this, and I agree with you. I think this is a sign that he will come and fight again. Obviously Tyson Fury's back now. We know that on April the 11th against Arslanbek Makhmudov. That's the fight we'd all love to see this year between those two fellas, but it was very sad to see AJ, but you have to feel empathy for the man in what was a horrific moment for them and for their families, and obviously for him.
If that fight is to happen, I mean, it's likely to be at the end of the year, isn't it, really? I mean, do you think there is a chance we could see it in 2026?
Yeah, and I'm out here in Miami, guys, and obviously I was out here for talkSPORT in December where I took my dip in the sea on Drive, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
And I won't be doing it on this show because I'm sitting upstairs in the hotel, but if you'd asked me to, I would have gone back in the sea. For me, the sign is, given that Tyson Fury, and I thought this when I was out, obviously, Anthony Joshua fought Jake Paul on Netflix. My feeling is with Tyson Fury and Arslanbek Makhmudov going on to Netflix, it's a no-brainer for Anthony Joshua. There's a documentary coming out on him on Netflix. Tyson Fury's just done his second series. We could have some record-breaking figures when those two get in a ring together. It might be... I think if it's on Netflix, it doesn't necessarily need to be in an outdoor stadium because it will be all about the viewership, and it shows you the giant streaming platforms that are coming on board right now. I think we are entering a new era. The tectonic plates are moving again. You know, Dana White and Turkey over here in America trying to kind of underwrite a new boxing era. I think it will be the end of the year or even early next year, and I think it looks like it'll head towards Netflix. Could break that 110 million viewership that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson did on Netflix.
And what would be the most likely destination then, based on what you've been saying? What's the sort of destination for the Netflix? I do take your point that it doesn't have to be a sort of mega dome, because a lot of it will be pay-per-view. Yeah,
I mean, you could. I mean, I hate to say this, but it could be 20,000 at the Co-op Arena. It could be 20,000 at the O2 Arena with tickets at an extortionate price. Who knows? I mean, ideally, it would be at Wembley. I think that's the perfect place for it. But the fact that Turkey Al-Sheikh and the Saudi Arabians are getting involved with Tyson Fury and Arslanbek Makhmudov and Netflix, it wouldn't surprise me if it went even to Saudi or even to Las Vegas. I think Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, 70,000. If the Saudis want to buy out the fight, they could do it in a big stadium in Saudi Arabia and, you know, have the honour and the privilege, if you like, of having a giant event. But look, all the British fans will want it at Wembley, but I don't think it's guaranteed to be in the UK.
No. Gareth, enjoy tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, gents.
Gareth A. Davis there over in Miami, and that event, the BKB event, Bare-knuckle Boxing, talkSPORT YouTube channel on Saturday. And we mentioned Lopez Sheko Stevenson. That's at Madison Square Garden tomorrow. It should be a heck of a fight. It's a must-see showdown for the ring and WBO Junior Welterweight World title. And you can watch it this Saturday live only on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
only problem I have with him, he done it again on the weekend against Arsenal. He played a pass to Mbeumo, and he was at fault for a poor pass. And he's thrown his arms up at Mbeumo, and Mbeumo's actually giving him some back of like, come on. As a player, you don't like players throwing your arm.
Why is that wrong? That happens all the time.
I was going to say. But as a player, having played it at the game, anybody throws your arms up at you, you always have. You don't like it. Ask any players playing now, you don't like it. That's what he let himself down at. Garnacho copied him.
Don't compare Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes.
I'm saying he copied him. I'm not comparing him. I'm saying he copied. It's not a good example when you're throwing your arms up at your teammates. What he does on the pitch, his performances,
but isn't
outstanding.
That because he's from a different culture, from a different sort of upbringing, and
it's
he's
a
got
Portuguese mentality.
Demeanour. He has, if you look at Jose Mourinho and the way he conducts himself, it's different to the way that Michael Carrick conducts himself because they're brought up in different cultures. And if you're going to have the World League, which
who else do you see do it?
Loads of players do it. Go watch Spanish football.
No, in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's the point, Sam. I spend a lot of time in Portugal, as you know, and they are that sort of mentality. They are an expressive population. So I think that's why it stands
does
out.
it quite a lot, doesn't he? Gets the arm,
but also just
up in the air.
Graham Souness is going back to a different world, really. I don't want to say prehistoric views, but they don't make captains now like they did in his day. I've got a list of Premier League captains here. I bet you can't tell me who the captain of Fulham and Manchester City is. You were looking at my screen.
I wasn't.
Tell me who the captain of Manchester City is officially.
Manchester City is Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, but is he? He's not an old school Roy Keane.
Another one that's quite
John
demonstrative,
Terry
similar
captain.
sort of thing, which sort of shows you that it might well be a Portuguese.
Who's the captain of Fulham?
Fulham.
Arne Slot admits Liverpool cannot afford any more slip-ups in the league as they look to take momentum from beating Qarabağ.
We are fully aware of the fact that one win isn't enough at this club, so the next one is coming fast with Newcastle.
Jeremy Frimpong will be out for a few weeks, but Curtis Jones is back from illness and Ibrahima Konate will be in the squad again after timeout following the death of his father. Now, Liverpool versus Newcastle is live on talkSPORT tomorrow night. And Eddie Howe's keeping his fingers crossed. Midfield general Bruno Guimaraes will be back for that one.
He did really well to be with us in Paris, and I think that's more down to the fact that he was desperate to be there and support the players. He trained with us yesterday, but that was more of a test. So let's see how he is.
Joe Linton is weeks away after a groin injury. Tino Livramento should be back in March. Mikel Arteta's begging the Premier League to increase the size of matchday squads from 18 to 20. Meanwhile, Max Dowman will sign his first pro contract at Arsenal in December when he turns 17. Ray Parlour says Dowman is a player so mature for his age.
He knocks people off the ball, he's strong, he can drop his shoulder, goes past people, he's got that turn of pace. And some of the goals he scored, he's been brilliant in the youth team area, and I'm sure he's going to have a big say in England going forward as well. Yeah. I mean, he can be a big player going forward in many, many years' time.
And Newcastle will play against Qarabağ in their Champions League playoff. Real Madrid have been drawn against Benfica, a rematch of the remarkable game this week where Benfica's keeper scored an 98th minute header.
Just before Stan Collymore joins us, go back to Toby Gillis because the epic battle between Sinner and Djokovic is over, Toby.
Novak Djokovic is against all odds into the final of the Australian Open. He's beaten Jannik Sinner 3-6, 6-3, 4-6, 6-4, 6-4, rolling back the years to provide us with another scintillating memory of the greatest tennis player of all time. In the fifth set alone, he saved 8 break points to keep the defending champion at bay, including from Love 40 down at 4-3, immediately after he had taken what turned out to be the crucial break. It took 3 match points, the second of which was saved in impossible style by Sinner, but he wasn't to be denied, sinking to his knees as Sinner went wide with a backhand, looking to the heavens in joy and exhaustion. For the first time in a year, a men's singles Grand Slam final will not be between Alcaraz and Sinner. It'll be between Alcaraz and Djokovic. The Spaniard, world number 1, earlier won through in maybe even more of a dramatic 5-setter against Alexander Zverev, the longest semi in the history of the Australian Open. Whichever way Sunday goes, history will be made. Alcaraz could win the last of the 4 majors he's yet to lift. If Djokovic wins it, though, it's number 25, the most of any man or woman in any era, and with it, maybe becoming the greatest sports person of all time. What a day at the Happy Slam, and we're back tomorrow from 8:30 for updates from the women's final as Arina Sabalenka and Elena Rybakina battle it out for the title.
The Australian Open update on talkSPORT with TNT Sports. Every set exclusively live on TNT Sports. Subscription required. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Barnes, rush, Barnes. Still John Barnes. Collymore closing in. Liverpool lead in stoppage time.
He's not even the best tennis player ever. What's he talking about, Toby Gillis?
What's wrong?
He's one of the best sportsmen ever in the history of the world.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. That's rubbish, isn't it?
He said he's the best sportsman ever in the history of the world?
Yeah, he's one of the best sportsmen ever in history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, don't let that eat you up, Andy.
Nonsense, isn't it?
It would be handy, of course, if Stan Collymore got £1 for every time they played that bit of commentary since he scored that memorable goal, because it is Liverpool-Newcastle this weekend. Good afternoon, Stan.
Afternoon, Paul. Afternoon, Andy.
Yeah, it's happy memories. You watch that one every so often. Watch it back every so often.
Now and again. I mean, I think that what makes. I mean, obviously, you know, Martin Tyler sort of made many moments special. Aguero, of course, as well. The Manchester City game that was doing comms for the station on that day up at the Etihad. But I think that the great thing about that particular game was that it was 90 minutes of great football. So, you know, Ginola, Asprilla, Fowler, McManaman, Barnes, you name it, everybody had a really good game. Les Ferdinand. So, yeah, the moment was great. And, of course, it was replicated exactly the year after. I was actually on the bench coming back from injury. And Robbie Fowler scored in the last couple of seconds against Newcastle at Anfield to win 4-3. So it's a game with a lot of pedigree, a lot of history, but yeah, very happy memories.
We're going to talk Villa, though. Andy was saying last night he tuned in with you guys 2-0 down because he thought you had it in you to come back, and sure enough, he was rewarded with a comeback. But just talk generally about the job that Unai Emery is doing.
Yeah, I mean, it is remarkable. I'm going to take off my Villa supporting up the Villa hat on, and I'm just going to pure punditry. I went up to Newcastle against Villa last week. I go as much as I can. And I went up to the Newcastle game, a place that Villa hadn't won, I think, for 20-odd years, since the Bowyer and what's-his-name fight in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, Kieran Dyer, yeah.
Kieran Dyer, 25 years. And I thought to myself, OK, well, we know that Boubacar Kamara's out, wonderful midfielder, very little pressure he finds himself under. He gets the ball, he pivots, he sort of plays the game at his own pace. And then Yuri Tielemans is now out for a period of time. You've got a situation whereby John McGinn is out, a huge figure in the dressing room as well as on the pitch. And I thought, how can they go up to Newcastle that, generally speaking, have a very good home record and win? And you know what? Villa did it quite comfortably, and they do it. And it's down to the manager, Unai Emery. And this is why, for me, he's pound for pound the best manager in the Premier League. Look, people can argue the toss about Arteta and what he will go on and do, and Chelsea managers and Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United, Man City, Pep Guardiola. But I think that what differentiates Unai Emery is his ability to make, and every manager and coach will say it, to make poor players good, good players very good players great. And everybody that seems to come across this guy firstly tells you about how he's on at them every single day at the training ground. John McGuinness said, the gaffer told me to get in the box a little bit more. Got in the box, scored at Villa Park the other week. FA Youth Cup winning team. Excellent team of really good young players that are going to go on and have wonderful careers. Players like Caden Young that came on yesterday, Jamaldine Jimo Alaboa, George Hemmings. They were all involved yesterday. Hemmings started, the latter two come on. One creates a chance at the end for the other one to score. And it's just this quite remarkable ability to be able to make players much, much better that you don't always see in the Premier League. You look at Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, spent a lot of money. Arteta spent a lot of money and had to change completely his philosophy to the game. Corners, set pieces, discipline, rather than the sort of Pep light. So it was just remarkable for me to stand up in that Leesy's end at Newcastle, right up in the gods, and just watch players like Onana that was exceptional. Evertonians were like, Stanley's going to be garbage within 5 or 6 games. Yeah. I mean, he's like, Inspector Gadget, one for the dads. Go, Gadget legs. He goes to ground, puts a long telescopic leg out, 80% of the time comes away with the ball. Leicester fans were telling Villa fans, don't take Tielemans, he's overweight and he's injury prone. He's just got an injury against Newcastle. But up till that, playing 95% of the games. Emi Buendia, out for the count, probably looking to get away, has come into the team and has had a remarkable impact with goals and assists. And looking at Unai Emery, from a pundit's perspective, you think, well, he's got to be a guy that big clubs are looking at. Lo and behold, yesterday, you see the rumours, if Real Madrid get rid of Arbeloa, then Unai Emery's in a long list. I don't think he's a Real Madrid-type manager because I don't think he would get the keys to the place as he's done at Villa Park. And I hope he doesn't make a sort of similar mistake that when he went to Paris and he's all of a sudden having to deal with huge players and the politics of football rather than just making players better. At the moment, it's a match made in heaven. Villa are a big club that need a cuddle, that need a love, that need somebody to come in and sweep the stench of averageness away. He's done that and some. But the ability to make players better is quite remarkable. Now, just very briefly, because I heard Andy say about Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's as simple as they don't see the maths add up, Andy. You see Guesson may well be leaving to go to Crystal Palace or elsewhere. Italy, Juventus apparently are interested. You see Daniel Marlon go to Roma and people were going, oh, crikey, Marlon's done really well in the last 6 games. Yeah, 6 games. And for the money that Villa got, it was effectively what they got back and a little bit more. So Villa aren't scared of letting players go that come into the club. Unai trains with them 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and he says, not for me. And I thought actually Harvey Elliott played quite well last night, all things considered. Neat and tidy on the ball. His final pass wasn't quite on it. Liverpool have come out today and said, look, he's a Villa player until anything changes. But I think that with Villa and the peculiar situation they've got of having to really make sure that PSR works and they don't fall foul of it, likewise Nottingham Forest, likewise Newcastle, is that 35 million that is triggered by playing a certain amount of games. I think that Unai feels that could be better spent elsewhere. And it's a really tough decision to make because make no bones about it, Aston Villa at this moment, they've got Brentford at the weekend, into the next round of the Europa League, got Newcastle in the FA Cup, big games coming left, right and centre. They need the bodies. So the fact that Unai Emery has turned round to the directors of football and the recruitment of people and said, I'm going to play some of the FA Cup boys. I feel I can make them better. I'm going to bring Emi Buendia back. I think I can make him better. And we still sell 2 or 3 players that then keep us on the right lines of PSR. I just wanted to take my hat off to the bloke because I remember going to watch Sevilla and Betis. Mate's a big Betis fan, go very often. And he extolled the virtues of him, 6, 7, 10 years ago. And I can see it now. He's an old-fashioned manager that gets into players' heads. Can I make you better day in, day out?
Good stuff, Stan. Back, Stan, in a moment because we've got the Falls Panel games coming up. Just to let you know, Fiery Fridays are back again on the talkSPORT Daily podcast. Adrian Durham, Alex Crook, Angelina Kelly every Friday. have their hot takes in today's episode. They discuss whether Liverpool need to re-sign Trent Alexander-Arnold and if Arsenal could win the league if their fans stop whinging on social media. Not my words, this is what it says here. So go and check it out wherever you get your podcasts. We're just about to have the toss for this T20 game. Delayed, should have started at 1:30, but hopefully getting underway in about 15 minutes' time. It will be live over on talkSPORT 2. But the Falls panel is next as we look at Liverpool, Newcastle, Spurs, City, Sunderland and Burnley. We're here with Toolstation. Get winter ready with heating and insulation essentials. Next stop, Toolstation.
May have a wee chat with about Manchester United, and I've got to say, mate, and you'll have watched it yourself, Michael came in, that was obviously a big talking point, replacing Darren, temporary manager and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. The two, not just the two results, but I think more than that, better than that, the two performances against City and Arsenal would probably be, I'm suggesting, beyond every United fan's dream, because they've been terrific.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. I think... when he took over, there's probably looking at the fixtures and two really, really tough games with City and Arsenal. But I don't think it's the fact that they won. I think it was the way they won, and how they won, and tactically how they got it spot on in every game. And I think it's worked to their advantage in terms of, playing on the break, having the pace on the break and those attacking transitions to hurt teams. But I think they got it absolutely spot on. I think it's the best I've probably seen United out of possession as well, Players find it struggling to get into the pockets and get turned, playing it through the lines. There was none of that in the two big games in recent weeks. But listen, this is beat both of them top teams, but now it's about sustaining momentum, creating that winning habit again. And like you said, I think for the fans, it's been difficult for the last few years, but brilliant for them as well.
Phil, someone that stands out for me for Manchester United, especially the last two games, is Harry Maguire. I mean, some of the stick he's got over the years has got personal, definitely on social media, and his mental strength, mate, must be like so strong to get through that, and he's playing some of his best football this season. Yeah,
I know him really, really well. Brilliant character, fantastic player, huge mentality to come back from the criticism that he received and everything surrounding and the talk about him. What a player! He's strong. He's aggressive. He's not just strong and aggressive. He's got the ability on the ball as well. And picks the passes and starts the attacks. But I'm delighted for him.
The window is about to slam shut. Transfer deadline day is here again, and the football world means business. We'll bring you the bargains, the whispers, every deal, every twist.
It's been that kind of bonkers window.
An unbelievable window.
Busy transfer window.
talkSPORT keeps you in the know. This is transfer deadline day. This is talkSPORT.
News on the cricket front, folks. We are going to see some players. It's going to be a 17-over game. The toss is going to be 5-3 our time, and then 10 past 3.
I might as well make it 20 overs. That's ridiculous.
10 past 3. We obviously missed the cut-off. 10 past 3, it gets underway. But yeah, it's going to be live over on talkSPORT 2. So we'll bring you regular updates, but it's ball by ball on talkSPORT 2. But let's get underway with the Falls panel. We've got 3 big games to which you'll hear live on talkSPORT over the weekend. We've got to predict the scores. We'll get 3 points for getting it absolutely spot on, 1 for getting the outcome right, now for getting it wrong. These are the standings. Andy Jacobs finds himself bottom, 0 points last week.
I started doing that thing where
you're chasing it, 5 alls and 4 threes and stuff.
Different.
No points. He's on 28. Next up, it was Barry, the Arsenal fan, star performer of the week, got 4 points. They're now on 34, so Andy is 6 adrift, got some work to do. Nigel Adley was your commentator. He got 1 point there on 37, solidly mid-table. Danny Kelly performed very well for me in my absence, got me 3 points. I'm on 41. Stan Collymore with his 1, still top of the tree on 45 points. So let's say hello to our commentator. Jim Proudfoot joins us. Good afternoon, Jim.
Paul, Andy, Stan, how are you?
Oh, yeah, we're all good.
Changing my name to Wolves.
You're changing your name to Wolves? Why? Oh, yeah, because you're rooted to the bottom. Yeah. So mid-table, how are you feeling about mid-table, Jim?
I'll take that, to be honest with you. I think that's probably more than we deserve.
Where's our panel beater today? Can you... Javi the Spurs fan. Hi, Javi, how are you?
It's actually Javid.
Oh, it's a Javi with a J. Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah, as opposed to us with our soft J's.
Well, you know.
Javi. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about going into the City game then?
I think I'm pretty confident, actually.
Wow.
I think, yeah. I think we've got the thing over Man City, so I think we'll do them.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm loving the confidence. Let's get underway, shall we? Liverpool-Newcastle kicks us off tomorrow lunchtime. Not tomorrow lunchtime, tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock, isn't it? Yeah, Sam at the Face, Stuart Pearce, commentary team. Faker Brothers host for that one. Stan, you're top of the tree. What do you reckon? Liverpool-Newcastle?
Yeah, happy hunting ground Anfield for Liverpool against Newcastle. Unbeaten in the last 18. Mo Salah, 19 goals and assists against Newcastle. Hopefully he can get back on form. Newcastle looked a little bit jaded, I thought, against Villa. A bit devoid of ideas, and their away record isn't great, particularly at Anfield, where they haven't won for 29 games. So I don't think it'll be the goal fest of yesteryear, but I think it will be Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 1.
I've already written that down. I knew you were going to say that, the way you were setting it up. I agree. I think I can see Newcastle scoring because Liverpool can be a bit shaky at the back, but I think Liverpool find a way. I agree with Stan. I'm going 2-1 Liverpool. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I've got 2-1 written down as well, because of Newcastle's poor away form, and they've still only won 2 out of 11 away from home in the Premier League this season. It was interesting the other night in that game against PSG, where they had such a bad start, they was trying to come to terms with the system. But then they played really well for about an hour with a back three. And I don't know whether Eddie Howe's going to maintain that or not. But I still think that Liverpool will be good enough to beat them. So I'll go 2-1 as well.
2-1. Well, it's pretty consistent. Javi, what about you?
Paul, it's Javid. J-A-V-I-D.
Oh, Javid. Okay, I do apologise, Javid. I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries.
Got it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a draw. I think it's Liverpool 2, Newcastle 2.
Liverpool 2, Newcastle 2. Yeah, there's every chance. They've had good stuff. Andy?
The Wolves representative thinks it's going to be 3-2.
Okay, right. 3-2 to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I've got to do something.
There you are. You're getting bold. Okay, well, it could happen.
It won't.
talkSPORT listeners at home are in the car. Next up, Sunday afternoon, the game I'm going to, Spurs versus Manchester City. Stan, we'll have updates in Game Day Live, but Stan, what do you reckon?
Yes, always have the wires on the updates from various sites. And Mickey van der Ven, Paul, is touch and go for Sunday.
Yeah.
Mickey is a minor one. It'll be touch and go for Sunday. He was on the pitch yesterday. We're hoping he'll be on the pitch again today, so hopeful for that, but it's touch and go. Spurs winless last 5. City have won the last 2 at Spurs. Javid was right about generally Spurs have a decent record at home against them, but not against City in the last couple of games. Spurs 1, City 2.
I've had a few Spurs 2-1 says Stan. I've heard, or 1-2. I've heard a few Spurs fans. I've heard it suggested by some that they would quite like to lose this game because otherwise it gives Arsenal a bit of a leg up. But the circuit...
That's horrific. I mean, that's Ange Postecoglou hated that. He was right.
That was very
slightly different.
That was very different circuit. Basically, in that game, had Sonny scored that one-on-one, Arsenal would have won the title. So it was down to the wire.
Yeah.
So this is a completely different scenario.
And Spurs need the
Tottenham
points.
need the points. Yeah. Absolutely that. So that's not my thinking at all. I know what Javid says. We've had a decent record. We've had, at times we've been absolutely terrible and they've been flying. And they're not absolutely at their best. At the moment, we've not seen Tottenham build on these European games, which has been really frustrating. It might have been a turning point the other day. I don't want to bet against the boys. I'll go 2 each. Jim, what do you think?
I've got 2-0 to City written down here. I think that there's every chance that the second goal might come quite late on when they're chasing the game, Spurs. I mean, the home record is so poor, Paul. You don't need me to tell you that. 4 out of 25 home wins in the Premier League. And when you get to February and you've still won twice as many games at home in Europe as you have in the Premier League, then that's a problem. And I understand what Javid says about the fact that, to an extent, for a while, Spurs were Pep Guardiola's kryptonite. But this is a fixture that's tended to suit the away team, whoever that is. Obviously, Spurs won at City earlier this season. I think the City will get revenge. So I'm going to go Spurs 0, City 2.
2-0 says Jim. We've already told us, Javid, you think we're going to win. So what's the scoreline going to be?
I think it's going to be 2-1 to Spurs.
Wow. I'm loving the positivity. This is fantastic.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
There we are. This is, it should be the hype man. We should get him in the dressing room.
Oh, this is a difficult one because City they've got to go on a run. Otherwise, Arsenal are just going to walk away with it unless Villa can do something. So you think they have to win this game, but I'm not convinced about City either. I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1, OK, says Andy Jacobs. talkSPORT listeners home in the car.
Nothing.
Finally, we go to Monday night. It's on talkSPORT 2 exclusively. It is Sunderland versus Burnley. And Stan, what about you on this one?
Yes, Sunderland, only unbeaten team left, of course, in the Premier League at home. Really good record generally against Burnley. Lost one of the last 12 at home against the Clarets, and Burnley are winless in the last 14. Lots of draws, though, for Burnley. I was tempted to go for the draw, but with Sunderland's home record, I'm going to go for a clear win and a clean sheet. Sunderland 2, Burnley 0.
Yep, I've written that down already. I agree with you. I think it'll be a pretty... I mean, we saw Mr. Tottenham, not Dr. Tottenham, because he's now a consultant. He's done such a great job. Mr. Tottenham has obviously kind of turned West Ham's season around. So will it do the same for Burnley after their performance last week where they got a decent point? I don't think so. No, I agree with you. Robbie, get the second. I'm going to go 2-0. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, I've gone 2-1. I think it'll be just that little bit closer. I mean, they're not in a great run of form, Sunderland, but so much of that was down to the absences of significant players out at AFCON. They're back. They beat Palace home last time out, which is their only win in their last 7 Premier League games. But Burnley 14 without a league win. You've got to go for Sunderland in front of that raucous home support. So I'll go 2-1.
2-1 says Jim Proudfoot. Javid, what about you?
I think Sunderland 1-0. I think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah.
But I think Sunderland will just nick it.
They just have enough. OK, and finally, Andy?
Do we know if Granit Xhaka's back? Because it's a big miss for when he's not there.
He was on the... was he on the bench the other day? Or was he just not among the subs? Was he just sitting there?
Anyway, I still think Sunderland have too much, so I'm going to go 3-1.
Oh, OK. Everyone, you've done a different one.
Well, I've got to. What can I do?
You're chasing it. Your man chasing his losses. There we are.
Funny game for a Monday night. That feels like a bit like Sheffield United Oldham. Do stay with us.
Yeah. Well, no, so they can be very entertaining, Sunderland, when they get on the front foot. The atmosphere's always good there. So there we are. So there we are. That was the full panel today. Thank you, Jim. We'll catch up with you soon. All the best.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Javid. Sorry I got your name wrong twice. Up the Spurs.
No worries,
Maybe I'll see you Sunday. All
exactly.
the best.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thank you. And thank you, Stan. We'll catch up with you next week.
Up the Villa.
There we are. So there's the Falls panel. Still to come this afternoon. We're going to be chatting to Karen Chandler, who's a former F1 driver, and we find uncharacteristically a very positive Lewis Hamilton at the moment.
Yeah.
He's joined the car, enjoying practice so far. We'll see what Karen makes of that. Todd Macklin joins us for the very latest from the world of American sport as we start to build up to the Super Bowl. And we'll have some clips of the week and hear from the gaffers. That's all to come. And we will have some cricket for you in the next 10 minutes. It's going to be live over on talkSPORT 2. We will keep you updated here on talkSPORT.
I'm doing this gig up a ski slope, end of season in Austria, and I'm with my dad, and we're travelling down to the gondola. It's a big gig, but we'll get up there in a gondola, and my security goes, Maradona's here, and he wants to say hello to you. I'm like, Maradona in Austria? I'm like, yeah, get out of the car, and there's Maradona. And like, you know, I don't speak Spanish. And, you know, but we're very happy to see each other, and we have our pictures taken together, and we go up in the gondola, and my dad's like, what's your life like, son? I go, it's amazing, isn't it? People like Maradona want to come and see me, And then 2 days later, I'm looking at the news on the Mac, and Maradona is at the Chelsea game. And that Maradona hasn't got a beard at the Chelsea game. That wasn't Maradona that I met.
No, it was.
It was an imposter.
What, claiming to be Maradona?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. You ever been scammed like that?
Not like that. Maradona, come
Didn't you scam someone though, didn't you?
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your latest sports headlines, I'm Matt Hutchinson. Good afternoon. Novak Djokovic's hopes of winning a record-breaking 25th Grand Slam are still alive. The 38-year-old has beaten Jannik Sinner in a 5-set semi at the Australia Open. talkSPORT's Toby Gillis has been following the action.
Rolling back the years to provide us with another scintillating memory of the greatest tennis player of all time. Sinking to his knees as Sinner went wide with a backhand, looking to the heavens in joy and exhaustion.
Well, Djokovic will face Carlos Alcaraz in the final. The Spaniard semi against Alexander Zverev lasted almost 5.5 hours. Elsewhere this afternoon, Jean-Philippe Mateta has been left out of Palace's squad to face Forest this afternoon. Oliver Glasner has explained that decision.
He's not in the right place, doesn't feel in the right place right now to play, and then it makes no sense. And because we have to protect the team, I have to protect him.
Well, AC Milan have offered around €35 million for Mateta. Any hopes of Jack Grealish making England's World Cup squad that were lingering have now effectively ended. David Moyes says he'll probably need surgery on a foot fracture, which is likely to rule him out for the rest of this season.
Really disappointing for the player and for the club and for all of us here, because he's such an important part. He's a big character, big experience for us, and we'll miss him. He's done a lot of really good things for us.
Fulham have completed the signing of Oscar Bobb from Man City for £27 million. And in the Champions League playoffs, Newcastle have drawn Qarabag, while Real Madrid will face Benfica again. In the Europa League, Forest have got Fenerbahce, and Celtic will face Stuttgart for a place in the last 16.
talkSPORT News.
An asylum seeker from Sudan who stabbed a hotel worker to death at a train station in Walsall has been jailed for at least 29 years for murder, and thousands of pounds have been raised for a sacked bus driver who chased down a thief. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, your go-to destination for quality tyres from great brands like Continental. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Expecting heavier rain and strong winds in southern areas over the next few hours. Cloudy and breezy for many, feeling chilly in the north.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're into the world of American sports with Todd Macklin a little bit later on this hour. We'll have some fresh clips of the week for you as well. We'll hear from the managers, head of the weekend's big games. And just to let you know that England have won the toss and have decided to bowl first in this 17-over-a-side game that's been weather affected. Should have started at 1:30, but they're going to get some play in, and it's live over on talkSPORT 2. talkSPITE, a lot of spite on talkSPORT 2. But yes, live over on talkSPORT 2, ball by ball commentary, and we'll keep you updated here. Now we're going to make our second trip to Miami to talk a bit of Formula E in a moment. Before we do that, already in situ is Usain Bolt, the 8-time Olympic gold medalist, as if he needed telling, not the plumber. He's also a big Manchester United fan. He popped up with Paul Ross on Extra Time overnight ahead of the Miami Formula E race on Saturday, which is going to be live on talkSPORT too. Paul asked him about life under Michael Carrick so far.
I think, as you said, it's a little bit too soon, but I'll give him 3 more games. If he continues like this, even if he doesn't win, but the guys play positive and forward and more attacking, and we can see the belief. Even if they lose, I would rather Michael Carrick, because he understands the I would say the belief of the club, you know what I mean? And that's something that he was brought up in, and he's very good friends with Alex Ferguson, who can teach him and help him to guide him in the right direction.
There we are. So a bit of a tentative thumbs up from Usain Bolt. As we said, we're going to head back to Miami where the race is taking place. It will be live on talkSPORT 2. Karen Chandler is the former F1 and Formula E driver. Karen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good. We're good, thank you. Have you run into Usain on your travels?
I didn't. He probably ran away from me. Let's be honest. He'd probably do that quicker than I can catch him.
Yeah. So, tell us a bit about the race. It's third of the season at the Miami Hard Rock Stadium. And it's a new track as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's a new track for Formula E. Formula One has been coming here for a few years now. It's a different layout. It is a sort of bespoke layout for Formula E. As you say, it's the third round of the championship. We've had a couple of good races really so far. You know, it's been pretty wide open in terms of the championship contenders. We saw Nick Cassidy winning last time out for Citroën, which was a great result for him. He has joined that team this year from Jaguars, so to win in his second race has been really impressive. And I think once again, as has been the case of Formula E in recent years, as we sit here on Friday before the race, you know, there are probably 8-10 drivers who could win it, which is fun.
It's where they play American football, isn't it? Is there enough surface? It obviously is, because they wouldn't be doing it. But it's interesting to see the layout of the track, because the surface area isn't that big, is it, within that stadium?
Yes, it's actually the track goes around the stadium. So I haven't been here for an NFL game, but I presume it's where the sort of car parks and the perimeter road is. But I mean, certainly, you know, I've been here for the Grand Prix a couple of times, and that track is probably twice the length. So it's actually quite long for what is basically a temporary racetrack around the car park.
And the cars are more powerful, we understand now as well.
So it's similar to last year. It's next year, next season, which the next big step comes, Generation 4. So they are currently testing the Generation 4 car. Each of the teams have got their test cars out, and that will start in December. So this is the final season of this current generation of car. I mean, next year's car, you know, I've seen some of the videos and talking to some of the drivers here, sounds very impressive. It's twice the power that they've got now, which is pretty impressive, really.
Wow. Talking of testing, they're coming at the end of the first week in Barcelona, and very happy, uncharacteristically happy with the car and life since his move to Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton. Said he's had amazing practice, and he's absolutely loving it. I mean, are you sharing his optimism?
Well, listen, it's great to hear the optimism. As you say, he's been pretty downbeat, hasn't he, for most of last season? So that's nice to hear. I'm one of these people where I don't believe we can read anything into testing. And really, the proof will only come when we get to the first Grand Prix in Melbourne, which is not far away. You know, it's obviously first weekend of March, and it's when we get to that first qualifying session, because everything is so different in Formula One this year. You know, we've got, for those who aren't aware, we've got this sort of 50-50. Haven't yet announced who the replacement for Riccardo Adami is. So let's wait and see how this plays out.
I saw you were predicting a big year for George Russell, Karen.
Yes. Yeah, I believe he's the favourite, in my book anyway, for the World Championship. Because we've got this big rule change that I mentioned in F1, I think having a team where the engine power unit side and the chassis side is so integrated will be key to success. Now, Ferrari and Mercedes are the two teams who've got that, along with Red Bull and Audi, but Red Bull and Audi are brand new power unit companies. So I think you have to cut them a bit of slack and give them a bit of time. Whereas I think Mercedes and Ferrari, with that integrated structure, they've got to have an advantage at the beginning of a rule cycle. So to me, George Russell, in my opinion, he was the second best driver in F1 last year after Max Verstappen. He had an outstanding season. I think he's ready to be a championship contender. If the car's capable of it, I think he's ready to be world champion.
And what about, there's been a lot of talk about Adrian Newey in the Aston Martin. What's been the sort of early signs from what you can tell in Barcelona this week?
Not a lot so far. They're running today for the final day. You know, they missed the first 3 days. They only did 4 laps on the 4th day. So we haven't seen a lot. What we have seen in the car is it looks very impressive, very Adrian Newey-like, aggressive, innovative as well. There's some bits on there that you don't see on any other car, as you'd expect. But we haven't really got any sense of the performance.
We should keep you updated with the cricket. You're a big cricket fan.
Yes.
10 without
What's
loss.
going on?
Well, it's been rain delayed, unfortunately.
Good start, Sri Lanka.
Yeah, they
I
have.
heard 17 overs, isn't it? I saw the news. Yeah.
That's right. They've gone to 17 overs, and England have decided to have a bowl, and they've got 10 off the first 4 balls. So they're going for it. You're looking forward to the World Cup, Karen?
Very much so. You know, it's funny. I live in the UK. My kids are born in the UK, but obviously I come from India. So fortunately, they have fully bought into the rule that when India are playing, we cheer for India.
Yeah.
When India are not playing, we cheer for England. So we are very much a cricket household. So yes, looking forward to the World Cup.
So if it is an India-England final, it could be a little bit awkward in the channel.
We'll be cheering for India, that's for sure. I can tell you that.
Well,
they've got team kit for both teams.
Fair enough. Enjoy the race. Thanks very much, Karen.
Thank you for your time.
Karen Chandler, there, the Formula F1 and Formula E driver over in Miami. And as we said, that race, the Formula E race in Miami, third of the season at the Miami Hard Rock Stadium circuit, is live on talkSPORT 2 on Saturday. So let's check in for the first time with Sam Ellard. Because
it's a pretty poor first over this.
Yeah, Karen's had a bit of a mare, hasn't he? Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon. It's an awful first over from Sam Curran. 5 balls in, Sri Lanka 12 without loss. The right-hander Nisankar, he bowled a full half volley outside the off stump, driven through the covers to Misara, the left-hander. He bowled a half volley on his pads, which he just flicked through mid-wicket for a boundary. So yeah, it's been loose from Sam Curran. 1 ball left to the first over. Sri Lanka are 12 without loss. England winning the toss and choosing. No real surprise to have a bowl first. It's 17 overs aside. That means that 2 bowlers can bowl 4 overs. The rest can bowl 3 overs maximum, as Sam Curran once again there is short outside of the off stump, and it's crashed away through the offside for another boundary. So we've had 3 boundaries in this first over. Sri Lanka 16 without loss. This England team today, barring Duckett in for Banton, is probably going to be the England team they play in the T20 World Cup. I think batting-wise, it looks an England team stacked for the top quality players, but I do think Archer and Rashid aside, I think bowling-wise, they don't look anywhere near as strong as the batting. Sam Curran, expensive first over. Sri Lanka are batting, first over completed. Sri Lanka are 16 without loss.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam.
I like that in the World Cup when he gets to the last stage.
Incredibly expensive over. Anyway, we'll keep you in touch with that. It's live ball by ball over on talkSPORT 2 currently. We'll have some clips of the week coming up, but we're building up to the Super Bowl. But there's other big stories from the world of American sport. Arguably the biggest story of the week was not Super Bowl related, but we'll bring you more on that in a few moments' time as Todd Macklin joins us. We're here with Tool Station, and you can stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station.
What have we got this morning? I'm hearing that Crystal Palace are prepared to throw some money around, right?
Yeah, they've thrown money around already in this transfer window. It was a club record deal that took Brennan Johnson from Tottenham to Crystal Palace. Now it looks like they're going to smash that transfer record again. Wolves still waiting for the formal written offer, but we can report an agreement in principle between Crystal Palace and Wolverhampton Wanderers for their one-to-away striker, Jørgen Strand Larsen. I'm told that offer, when it does come in, will be £45 million plus £5 million in add-ons. So a £50 million deal for a player I know that Simon Jordan doesn't rate particularly highly.
Neither do you.
50 million pound player.
Right? It's called an opinion. I was prepared to pay £5 million for Eddie Akinbaye. What does that say about me? If you go back 20 years and look at the comparative scale, they're probably in the sort of ballpark of money.
You're being harsh on this lad.
I think he's useless. I do, but that's just my personal opinion. If Palace don't think he is, then I'll be happy to be proven wrong. I'll be happy for him to go and make a big deal of scoring lots of goals for Palace and making me look a fool. I'll be happy to be on the receiving end of that. Listen, if they've sold Gehi, which has funded the transfer of Brennan Johnson, because they probably got Man City to pay all up and pay for Brennan Johnson on the drip. They might do the same here. Yeah. They sell Mateta. So what? I mean, look. I'm not. Do you like him as a player, Alex?
Well, Alex, I was about to say, Alex. I mean, you work in games live for talkSPORT, and no doubt have seen Strand Larsen live on a few occasions while Simon's been trolling around Legoland. What do you see in this player?
I thought he looked a handful last season. Obviously, that prompted interest from Newcastle in the summer, but he's not been able to replicate that this season. I remember speaking to Sean Derry, actually, former Wolves coach at Arsenal. I think it was the first day of last season, and said, "What's this boy all about?" And he said, "You know what? In training, he looks the real deal. He could well be someone who scores goals regularly in the Premier League." So I'll reserve judgment. I still think they should have taken the money, Wolves, when Newcastle offered it last summer.
About to slam shut. Transfer deadline day is here again, and the football world means business. We'll bring you the bargains, the whispers, every deal, every twist.
It's been that kind of bonkers window.
An unbelievable window.
Busy transfer window.
talkSPORT keeps you in the know. This is transfer deadline day. This is talkSPORT.
Time then to turn to the world of American sport. We're just a week out or so from the Super Bowl, and we'll touch on some aspects of that shortly. But first, Todd Macklin joins. Good afternoon, Todd.
Hi, boys.
We're going to start with the Bill Belichick story, which has been big in the States. This was the induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the first ballot, feeling that he'd done enough as a coach to justify getting in. But he hasn't, and everybody's been weighing him, from his old quarterback of the Patriots, Tom Brady, to the President, Donald Trump, saying it's a disgrace. I mean, what's gone on? Why has he not got in?
Yeah, that is something that Donald Trump says that's a disgrace, right? Why he didn't get in. So just some backstory on the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There's 50 voters, 50 voters, and they're media members, former players, former executives. So to get in to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you need to be on the ballot of at least 40 of the 50 voters. And so Bill Belichick was not on 40 or more. And again, Bill Belichick as a head coach has won more Super Bowls than any other head coach in the NFL. He's won more playoff games than anybody else in the NFL. And in sports, aren't we always judged by the playoffs and the biggest games? So he's better than anybody. But as we know, throughout the coaching history of Bill Belichick, there have been some scandals, right? There was Spygate, where he broke league rules for spying on another team. There was Deflategate, where they had a playoff game against Indianapolis, and they were found to have deflated the football to give themselves an advantage in that game. So, again, reportedly, there's a former executive named Bill Polian, and reportedly, he, in that room where the vote was happening, said, listen, we should make Bill Belichick wait a year to get in because of, he mentioned Spygate, but, any of those kind of two scandals. Reportedly, Bill Polian said we should make him wait, and I guess enough people agreed with him that Bill Belichick should wait.
Yeah, they've made themselves.
So he'll almost certainly get in the end, but still the optics of it are not great for the old Hall of Fame, really. Although he's had a bad year. He's had a first year in college coaching, and it's been a bit of a disaster for Belichick, hasn't it?
Paul, 100% correct. But you can't take away the Super Bowls.
No.
You know what I mean? Like when you're looking at his resume, again, when you look what he's done with the Super Bowls, the playoff wins, even the struggles in college this year, can't take away from that. And listen, it's bad enough that the Pro Football Hall of Fame basically sent out a release saying, hey, we're going to look into this voting. And if there was any improper voting, we're going to have those people removed as voters going forward for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But as you say, he's going into the Hall of Fame. It's just listen, it's kind of it's a bad look, absolutely bad look for the Hall of Fame.
Just let you know that Triangle lost their first wicket. They're 24 for 1. Currently, it's live over on talkSPORT 2. Now, the Athletic every year conduct an anonymous NFL player poll. They speak to the players and they ask them various questions about the sport and people in the sport. And because it's anonymous, you get some interesting answers. One of the questions was, have you ever tried to hide concussion symptoms from a doctor? 19.5% admitted they had.
That's quite shocking, isn't it?
One player said, football is about availability more than ability. You're going to hide whatever you can to be out there. I know it's shameful to say. Quite a lot of other players said, look, you don't mess with your brain. I would never do that. But, and it's out of 100%, 19.5 admitted they had, which is still quite worrying, Todd.
It is, right? With all the data we've seen, all the deaths we've seen of former NFL players. But guys, what's incredible is if the poll had happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that number is so much higher.
Yeah.
Right before we have found out all we have found out so far about concussions and brain injuries and the head. Just before then, people would have always, and that number would have been close to 100% of people said they would have hid those symptoms, any concussion symptoms. So yeah, it's still frightening that it's high at 20%, but at least it's moving in the right direction, though, in that if we did this in 10 years, it's hopefully it's going to be less than 5%.
Sure, absolutely. Now, on the LeBron James and the NBA, he went back to playing Cleveland, his hometown of the team he took right to the top, the Cavaliers, and they had a tribute video, and he got quite tearful. He was quite emotional. I'm kind of guessing, obviously, because this is a pretty good chance, and you sense more and more that is probably the last time he plays there in the NBA. Although he won't say it outright. This is what he said after the game.
I don't know if it's my last game here or not at this moment. That helps. And then because I look down on the bench and see my 21-year-old son in uniform as well. It's like super cool. The question gets asked more, and the thought creeps in my mind more at 41 years old of when the end is and where's the finish line for us to hang this thing up. So, but the drive on how much juice I can squeeze out of this orange.
You kind of sense more and more that this is it's a kind of farewell tour without him actually admitting it, Todd.
Well, and this is the first year, right, where he had the sciatica injury in his back, right? That he missed the first 3 weeks. So it feels like this is kind of the first time he's dealt with a real serious ongoing injury. And at his age, it has to reflect on it more than he ever has before. But guys, he's still really good, right? Like most guys, when they'll talk about, when their play really starts to go down, that's when they really start thinking about if this is it for them. Man, he's still really good. And I know he's not the focal point, especially on the Lakers, because they have Luka Doncic. But man, LeBron is still so good that, it won't be his play that pushes him into retirement.
Yeah.
It is going to be the injury and the health.
We're a bit tight for time, so we're going to talk about the prices of the suites and we always do the prices of the ads around the Super Bowl. We'll do that next Friday. But one of the questions everybody's asking is, will Cardi B join Bad Bunny? Will Cardi B join Bad Bunny on stage during the halftime show? Because her boyfriend plays for the Patriots, doesn't he, Todd? Stefan
Diggs, big part of the New England Patriots. At least it's a question. And these prop bets are one of the fun part. They've now, along with the commercials, these prop bets are one of the fun parts of the Super Bowl. Is that kind of everyone? You don't have to know football to bet whether Cardi B is going to be part of the halftime show or not.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, okay. You're going no, Todd. Okay, you heard it here first.
I'm saying yes, and she will be wearing a cardigan.
Really? She will have the cardi on. For the first time, she'll finally be in a cardi. Well, it can get quite breezy in San Francisco, can't it?
Yes.
So she may need a cardi. Anyway, listen, we're going to play I Like It. But this is the other thing. Bad Bunny apparently has added a song they collaborated on. I know what I'm talking about. A song they collaborated on in his halftime show playlist. Anyway, that's what I've heard. So we'll play out with I Like It, and we'll get stuck into the Super Bowl.
The old Jerry in the Pace.
No, not that one. I don't think it's the Jerry. I don't think. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I would be too.
I mean, I don't know what's coming up, but I'd be surprised if it's that. But we'll catch up with you next week, Todd. Thanks a lot.
See you, boys.
Diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? Bitch, I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the jeweler. I put rocks all in my watch. I like texts from my exes when they want a second chance. I like proving wrong. I do what they say.
Looking at the points, they're on the same points as Crystal Palace. They're 2 in front of Leeds. They're 3 in front of Forest. They're 8 ahead of West Ham. They haven't won, though, in any of their last 5 games in the Premier League when they've played Burnley, West Ham, Bournemouth, Sunderland and Brentford. And the next 7 fixtures that they've got look pretty tricky. City at home at the weekend, United away, Newcastle at home, Arsenal at home, Fulham away, Palace at home, Liverpool away, straight after the international break, plus the Champions League fixtures thrown into that. Are they too good to get dragged into a relegation battle?
I think they are, And I think a bigger problem for them as well, Sam, is, like Crookie said there, some of these players are turning up in the Champions League. But are you looking at Simmons and saying, look at the standard of players you're playing against in the Champions League? As well. Yeah, Moani hasn't scored in the Premier League yet, but they're 10 points off Manchester United in fourth position. If I'm the hierarchy at Spurs, I'm saying we want to get back-to-back Champions League seasons. Not going to happen this season because they're miles off.
Can you see them getting back into contention for a European place?
No.
With games against City, United, Newcastle, Arsenal, Fulham and Palace and Liverpool over the next
They could easily not win a game out of all those games. They could easily not win.
Well, he'll be gone if that does happen. You know, he's bought himself a little bit of respite, certainly with a hierarchy. Won't take long for the fans.
Arne Slot admits Liverpool cannot afford any more slip-ups in the league as they look to take momentum from beating Qarabağ.
We are fully aware of the fact that one win isn't enough at this club, so the next one is coming fast with Newcastle.
Jeremy Frimpong will be out for a few weeks, but Curtis Jones is back from illness and Ibrahima Konate will be in the squad again after timeout following the death of his father. Now, Liverpool versus Newcastle is live on talkSPORT tomorrow night. And Eddie Howe's keeping his fingers crossed. Midfield general Bruno Guimaraes will be back for that one.
He did really well to be with us in Paris, and I think that's more down to the fact that he was desperate to be there and support the players. He trained with us yesterday, but that was more of a test. So look, let's see how he is.
Joe Linton is weeks away after a groin injury. Tino Livramento should be back in March. Mikel Arteta's begging the Premier League to increase the size of matchday squads from 18 to 20. Meanwhile, Max Dowman will sign his first pro contract at Arsenal in December when he turns 17. Ray Parlour says Dowman is a player so mature for his age.
He knocks people off the ball, he's strong, he can drop his shoulder, goes past people, he's got that turn of pace, and some of the goals he scored, he's been brilliant in the youth team area, and I'm sure he's going to have a big say in England going forward as well.
Yeah.
He can be a big player going forward in many, many years' time.
And Newcastle will play against Qarabağ in their Champions League playoff. Real Madrid have been drawn against Benfica, a rematch of the remarkable game this week where Benfica's keeper scored an 98th minute header.
The week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Next stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT clips of the week.
Yes, clips of the week time with Toolstation, and Andy, I'll kick us off the day with Sam Matterface alongside Gabby Agbonlahor, and Gab's clearly not keen on a Brazilian ex-Liverpool frontman getting the United job.
In terms of Michael Carrick himself, do you think he can put himself in the frame for the full-time position by doing a good job here?
Not for me, no.
Yeah, not for me.
Not for me. He doesn't want Firmino.
He wouldn't go to United. He's so Liverpool.
He is very... Everybody but Firmino, definitely, yes.
And elsewhere on the station, Gabby then went Egyptian.
I would like to see his next job is not at a powerhouse. I mean, it's never going to happen, is it?
Lads, for me, though,
Mido now, so we've had Firmino and Mido. Fantastic, two great old players. Meanwhile, around the 10th anniversary of David Bowie's sad passing, Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist did a lovely on-air tribute. It was beautiful, wasn't it, Andy? And we were almost tearing up. Here it is.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ali McCoist is with me. Why are we playing this, Ali, apart from the fact that it's absolutely brilliant?
Well, I know it's roughly 10 years since the great man passed. Is it bang on 10 years?
I'm not sure, to be honest, mate. I'm not sure.
He's one of the greatest
absolutely.
of all time. I'm not sure why you're playing it.
Beautiful. I think that's what he would have wanted.
Very much so.
I don't think we'd better tribute than that.
Now, here's Alan Brazil with an exotic pronunciation of the Spurs manager's name.
Well, up next, we take a closer look at Tottenham and whether Frank's Champions League form will keep him in a job.
Franck. Oh, ooh la la. Yeah, also discussing Thomas Frank was Angry Matt, the Spurs fan. And of all the things to have a go at Thomas Frank about.
He ain't going to survive because he's got the fans are on his back. The guy chews gum like a cow.
Yeah, that's the one thing that most Spurs fans have highlighted.
I've heard them singing it.
Not
he chews like a cow,
That's
Thomas
it.
Frank.
Yeah.
He chews like a cow.
Not the team selections or the tactics. It's been the gum chewing like a cow that's really upset most of us.
Anyway.
Yes.
Frank was the name on everyone's lips this week, including Alan Pardew.
What he had, the regular game plan he had at Brentford, to what now is a regular game plan at Spurs.
It's got a game pan?
Well, it's gone from a game plan to a game pan.
Game pan. I mean, that's been the
I've got a
problem.
game
We've
pan.
just got no game plan as a club. Here's newsreader Emma Kerwin with some football news.
We're told not to read too much into Emery pushing Tielemans, and Newcastle are still waiting on news of Bruno Gimme Rice.
All right, I'll get you some rice, Emma.
Egg fried or saffron?
We'll go and get you some rice if that's what you want. Okay. Yes. It's you, isn't it?
Yes, this was a clever recovery now from the sports bar's Jamie O'Hara.
All right, Granty, I'm going to go to Ross, who's Spurs. All right, Spurs fan, Ross.
Beautifully
Well
done.
done.
Boss. Well done to you. Here's Tony Cascarino on Weekend Breakfast talking Chelsea.
I think there's more to come from Delap. I also would think that Pedro as well. I think Neto's a hell of a player. Enzo Fernanzo likewise.
Oh, I love
I do like Enzo Fernanzo, don't you? If I can hear Paddy McGuinness saying that. That's anybody out there getting a fake ID anytime soon? Call yourself Enzo Fernanzo.
I'd say so.
It'll never work. And next, Andy.
It's Jim White and Simon Jordan discussing one of the great punk bands.
Stranglers. You ever seen them, Simon? I saw them years ago in Glasgow. Brilliant band. Absolutely.
Never seen them. Always like them. Always like the music. You know, walking on the beaches, listening to the Peaches, whatever it was.
He's listening to the Peaches. He's not looking at them. He's listening to the Peaches, which is, as an inanimate object, he's not going to get a lot back, is he, really?
It's very Mike Parry, that one.
Yeah, I do love listening. Okay. Yes, and there's been a goal. There's been a goal at Chelsea v Palace. Over to Ollie Klink.
Into the box, he got to the byline, jing back onto his left foot, fired at goal, and it's gone in via the keeper, Perry Groves.
I mean, no wonder it went in. You just lob him, didn't you?
Yes, and this was a caller to the sports bar talking Manchester United.
You say
Yeah,
lack of
but we had
effort.
this before.
But
I can see it happening again. Jardez-Vu again, isn't it? They did this with Ollie.
It's what again, mate?
Jardez-Vu again, isn't it?
Jardez-Vu again. Del boy. It's fantastic. Jardez-Vu all over again. Well done. Perfect. Back to Big Alan, berating his producer Ollie live on air with one we're calling Al's clearly no Jeff Stelling.
What would you do, Al?
What's he talk about the Russian Revolution?
Al,
Should I go now?
what would you do, though, if it was one of your kids?
What would I do?
they-
Sorry, I can't listen to both of you. Shut up, Ollie.
Yeah, don't give him Adrian show on a Saturday afternoon. Really, yeah.
Talk
I can't stop shouting at me scores in my ear.
After 26 years, you think you'd be sort of used to it.
Yeah, exactly. So what's next, Andy?
It's former Sunderland striker Kevin Phillips at Liverpool v Burnley, and something made us think he may have just come back from a stag do in Croatia.
Sense of goal coming from Liverpool. They've had numerous opportunities, been in really good areas. I don't really remember Dubravnik having to make a save this second half.
It must have been a good do because Kev can't remember Dubrovnik at all.
Split, but
yeah, he can remember a little bit of Split, but not much. Here's Darren Bent on Drive, telling co-host Andy Goldstein about an accident his mate had.
Fell out his loft, cracked 2 ribs, fractured back.
How'd you fall out of a loft?
He's putting insulin around the hatch.
That's going to be slippery, isn't it, really? Not insulation, then.
No insulin.
It's just a little tip if you're up in your loft. Do not smear insulin around the frame. It's never a good idea. It makes it slippery.
Huge game for you coming up live and exclusively on talkSPORT. Kickoff is at 12:30. It's our big exclusive Premier League match. It is the Manchester Derby. That's how big it is. I can't even get it out.
And who wants to be running, 26 miles in these kind of glasses? So people have suggested very focal, contact lenses. I was trying a very lovely strap-on.
So there we are. There's your clips of the week. We should thank Stuart Armour, Jonesy Jones, Andy Tideswell, Glyn Barrington, Bob T, Mark Ashbridge, Roger in Durham, Nelly, DJ Ed, Zoggy the Gooner, Simon P, Gary from Gateshead, Andrew West and Nick Ellaby. They all suggested clips that were played this week. So if you hear a clip over the next 7 days on talkSPORT, one of our sister stations, that you think could make the cut and be in the clips of the week, please do send it in to us at talksport.com/H&J. You can text it to 81089. You can tweet to TSH&J, that's TSHANDJ. As always, we'll need a day and a time when you heard it go out, so we've got a fighting chance of tracking it down. And if it's played, you will get a credit like those folks did just there. We'll also be putting out as a podcast. All previous clips of the week are available as podcasts, but this week's will be up in around 20 minutes' time, along with the H&J Daily with some of the best bits of this afternoon's show, if you've not been able to listen from one. So
do you remember how terrible Curran's first over was?
Yes.
Oh, you should have seen his second.
Hold my beer.
Oh, it was so bad.
Well, let's go back to Sam Curran, where they're just shy of 11 and over at the moment, Sri Lanka. Oh, but there has been a wicket, Sam.
There has been a wicket. First ball of the 8th over, Sri Lanka 76 for 2. Adil Rashid with the wicket. Nissanka 23 from 20, looking to slog sweep Rashid, but he got a top edge, and it was the easiest of catches for Joss Butler. Sam Curran's first over went for 15 runs. And yeah, hold my beer. His second over went for 20 runs. Kusal Mendes taking 2 4s and 2 6s off a really expensive over. He's not getting his lines and lengths right at the moment, so Curran has bowled 2 overs for 35 runs. Badr Rashid has just taken the second wicket for England. The first wicket was Misara, who made 16 from 9. Overton bowled a shorter ball, which the left-hander looked to try and pull, but he mistimed the shot. Liam Dawson at mid-wicket took the catch. Kusal Mendes playing a really good knock. He's faced just 14 balls and has made 29 runs. So hopefully England, with taking that second wicket, can just try and bring back the run rate, because the run rate at the moment is hovering around 10 runs and over, and Sri Lanka have set themselves a decent platform to try and post a good first innings total. England winning the toss, bowling first, 17 overs a side game, 7.1 overs gone, and Sri Lanka, decent start, 76 for 2.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sam.
I understand why England didn't bat. The conditions are absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that seems strange. Anyway, it's ball by ball over on talkSPORT 2. Currently, you can listen to the whole game unfold, and we'll keep you updated, as will Andy and Benty at 4 with Drive. So we're going to hear from some of the managers who've been chatting earlier on today ahead of the weekend's big game. So that's coming up in a few moments' time. But we're here, of course, with our good friends at Toolstation. They were the clips of the week with Toolstation.
Did you hear Ray's version this morning? Ed, have we got Ray's version of Singing Passenger? Take this in.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing. Played 38, won 26, lost exactly none.
Well, you only need the goals when they're running low. Only miss the net when the pressure grows. There's only one star boy by KO.
Saka off the bench to score. They are loving life at the Emirates.
Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Please, Pep, leave us alone. Come on, Arteta, you've got to bring it home.
Jump on that boat because this is the way that we're going to live the next 4 months.
Please don't let it go.
Wonderful. Isn't that really beautiful?
I need to jump on the boat as well.
Yeah. Tickets for the unlikely pilgrimage of Harold Fry available on www.haroldfrymusical.com. You'll absolutely love this. Passengers album One for the Road will be available on all streaming platforms alongside the official video release for the album's second single, Walk Upon the Water, featuring Kingdom Choir on YouTube, and www.haroldfrymusical.com. Like we say, you've got a stunning voice, and Ray's might just be that little bit better. Don't be...
No, look, it is.
Don't be threatened.
Let's not beat around the bush.
But Arsenal fans in for a treat
Michael,
this morning.
I'd done that at 10 to 6, and I was a little bit too early.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
To South Africa with the Barmy Army on talkSPORT.
Yes, now England are back in South Africa next winter and the Barmy Army are heading out in full force. This is your chance to be right there with them with a week for two at the 2027 New Year's Test in Cape Town. You can watch every day of the match. One of the world's greatest cricket grounds, flights, hotels and spending money all covered. You'll secure 2 places with the official Barmy Army, putting you right in the heart of the atmosphere with the loudest, proudest fans in cricket. So listen up, here's how to enter.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines closed 6th of February 2026 at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 right now. Good luck.
Yeah, best of luck. That sounds like a cracking trip. Sri Lanka now 3 down. It's 79 for 3 off of 8.1 overs. So England put them in to bat, which you're surprised at, Andy, aren't you?
Well, it might have been all right if if you take out Curran's 2 terrible overs.
Yeah.
They're not doing too bad.
37 runs, wasn't it? 38 runs. Anyway, it's live over on talkSPORT 2 as we speak. So let's hear from some of the gaffers ahead of the weekend's football. We'll kick off with interim manager at Manchester United, Michael Carrick, who was asked why he feels Manchester United have at times struggled to win matches at Old Trafford in recent seasons.
Ultimately, consistency is the key to success, and I think it's in my eyes, it's one of the most difficult things to achieve, to be good consistently rather. It takes so much, it takes the level of performance, it takes the level of mentality and the intensity and the concentration, and actually be able to cope emotionally with the ups and downs of what each game brings and moving on to the next. So there's so many things and that kind of go into it. And listen, that's what we're working towards. We've had a great couple of weeks, 2 big results. There's bigger games coming up, and it's just keeping the mind in the right place as much as the emotions to be able to to go into the next game just as we have done the previous two.
Carrick there?
Yeah, consistently struggling to say consistent.
He was, wasn't he? They're at home to Fulham on Sunday afternoon. That's at 2:00.
Yeah, it's a big test. I mean, look, the way they've played, they should win that game, but
Yeah.
Fulham are never easy, so interesting game.
Arsenal play tomorrow. They go to Leeds, 3:00 kickoff, and they bounce back to winning ways in the Champions League on Wednesday. And Mikel Arteta, the manager, was asked if he believes this will help his players in their upcoming Premier League games.
Well, it's just understanding where you are. Certainly, when you lose a game, you have a lot of feelings, because especially this group of players are so competitive and they seek for excellence. And when you don't reach it, you ask yourself questions, and we did that. But I think my role there as well is to bring optimism and reality of where we are. And our club has a long history, and to find a moment where in February we are in the position that we are is very difficult to find. So guys, we are doing so many things so well, and let's focus mainly on that. And for sure we want to improve, we want to be better in every area, but with that sense as well of self-confidence and conviction that we are in the right path.
Yeah, it was a great result for them midweek. He was able to rest players. He got some game time into the legs of players that needed it. Yeah, so
I mean, they won 5-0 in the return fixture, but that was early in the season and at the Emirates. It'll be much tougher for them this time.
It will be, but as I said, I think the fact that it was pretty comfortable and it was a second string on Wednesday means they'll be right up for this. Tomorrow, as we said, regular updates with Adrian and the gang tomorrow afternoon. Manchester City, of course, come to the Lane on Sunday afternoon. And Pep Guardiola's missed his Manchester City press conference. You reckon he is? Yeah, he doesn't. He's sick of talking about Spurs. Pep Linders, the City assistant manager, stepped in and was asked if it gives City hope that Arsenal keep dropping points.
No, it's about us. I've been in a few title races. It's always about just focusing on the next game. I know it's a cheeky answer, but you have to win your own games. You have to create your own path. You have to challenge yourselves to grow. You have to challenge yourself to do the things better you can control. And with this, you have to put pressure. You have to chase, and you have to go behind them. And they have to feel us. And with this, there's only possible by winning football matches. And with this, we can hopefully put pressure.
There we are. There's Pep Linders, who was in for Pep Guardiola today. Everton face Brighton tomorrow afternoon. They're sitting comfortably in 10th. There was that news that that's probably the season for Jack Grealish, which is a great shame from his point of view.
Yeah.
But this is David Moyes reflecting.
A couple of wins, then be sort of pushing.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Europe,
but let's see what David Moyes thinks of the season so far.
I think that we're in a really good position, and we're, it's getting that consistency in the Premier League. I think, as you can see, all the teams are a bit the same. There's a lot of congestion. I think if any team could go on a 4, 5, 6 game unbeaten run or winning those games, I think it would make a difference to them. But it was very close all the games. So we feel as if we could be part of that. We want to try and be part of it.
He's a wily old fox. He also said that he doesn't expect any incomings. He thinks it's very unlikely they'll do any business.
I'm not sure that's true.
Well, all the managers at the moment are just trying to get everybody off the scent. You don't want to say, oh yeah, we've got 100 million burning hole in our pocket. So that's David Moyes ahead of the game at the Amex tomorrow 3. And finally, Liam Rossigna, the Chelsea manager, has been praising João Pedro, and quite right too. He completely turned the game the other day. The second half was brilliant, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, he's been playing really well. He's really on form at the moment.
And he says he believes he's scoring goals due to his work off the ball.
João's an outstanding, magnificent footballer. We know of his talent level, his ability, and he's still very, very young. I think my private conversations with players are private for a reason. What I want to see, not just from João, but from the team, I just want to see maximal intensity in the team. I want to see a team that runs, a team that's together, where all 11 players are back defending, where all 11 players are attacking as a unit. You have to be fit and you have to press to be in my team. And I think for João, the goals he's scoring is because he's working so hard without the ball, and his positions he's picking up because he's working hard without the ball allow him to receive the ball in the areas he wants to. And I think he's been, his performance against Napoli was incredible.
You pleased with young Liam at the moment?
He's doing all right. His players seem to like him. My son was very angry the other night, though. He thought the tactics were ludicrous in the first half.
Yeah.
To go to there and try and play a system they'd never played before was a bit bonkers. But to be fair to him, a good sign is he changed it.
Yeah.
He's done that so far. Every time he's made a mistake, he's rectified it, and you can't ask for more than that.
No.
So fair enough.
He's feeling his way in. That's fair enough. They play 5:30 game tomorrow evening at home to resurgent West Ham.
Yes, that won't be easy.
So that is us. Just time to tell you that Sri Lanka have lost another wicket. It's a 17-over game because it was rain affected earlier on. And they're 18-9 for 4 having been put into bat by England. You can follow it with Andy and Benty. We'll have regular updates from Sam Allard. But if you want to follow the cricket, it's live over on talkSPORT too. You can listen ball by ball to this one and the rest of the T20 series. We'll catch up with you on Monday. It's going to be a busy day, of course, because we'll be reflecting on the Premier League and it's transfer deadline day. So hopefully we're all in for a busy one. So until then, have a great weekend. Stick around for Andy Goldstein and Darren Bentwood Drive.
This is Robbie Williams with Angels.
I sit and wait